What it is, what is up, what is good, gamers? This is Shonuff71, aka Digadulamite.
Purple bling bling, y'all.
Oh my god, don't do that. Don't do that.
I love it, love it. And your auditory canals are tuned into episode 283 of the Gaming Vessels podcast. Of course, I am not in the digital studio alone. Along with me, I got my partners in crime. First on deck, we got Dez, a.k.a. the Bay Area Terror, a.k.a. the High Res Lover.
That's me.
A.k.a.
No
the
sound?
Cat Daddy,
Okay, cool.
a.k.a. that gamer stepdaddy. And what's going on, dude?
Oh, see, he done found the soundboard. Damn. Oh no. I'm doing well. Thank you everybody out there for the applause. Really appreciate it. Just having a fantastic Father's Day. Want to wish everyone, although I'm not a father, just want to wish all you fathers out there.
You're a cat dad. Come on. You are a cat dad.
I am a cat dad, so that is correct. So yeah, so want to wish you all a happy Father's Day and hope you're getting all the fantastic and most fashionable ties this season. So other than that, doing great. Can't wait to talk about games and all this other craziness.
Absolutely. And of course, our show is a no-go without Trader Joe, aka Jabroni Chief.
Yeah.
But you might also know him as the Food Max of Gaming, who can maximize your gaming dollar. What's going on, dude?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing good. Pretty much just getting back into the flow. Pretty much reason why we didn't record last weekend because I went to go see Desmond and we went to a couple of San Francisco Giants games. They were playing my favorite team, which is the Atlanta Braves. And man, oh man, I got to see some heartbreak in real time. So Desmond was a witness, because Matt Chapman, the third baseman for the Giants, wound up hitting a game-winning home run in the ninth inning with 2 outs, mind you. And, victory was within the Braves' reach, but they, as always, managed to find some way to lose. So
Joking.
So to see it in real time, but had a good old time. We tried to go to a Nintendo store down in the Mission. Is it not the Mission?
No, it's in Union Square. It's in
Union Square. Yeah, but there was like a 45-minute wait to get inside, so it's like.
But it's open now, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's open.
Yeah, it's open. They got security. They got that place locked down. Like, it's crazy. You have to have and in order to buy like in order to buy Nintendo 2 stuff, the Switch 2 gear, you had to have a reservation or you just were not able to buy it. Like, you could go in and buy other stuff, other merchandise, but specifically the Switch 2 stuff, you had to have a reservation to buy. So they are serious, and it is my hope that they actually make money, because if they make money and they show that it is a profitable area again, more stores might come in and they might actually revitalize that area. Because for what I understand, I thought that Nintendo store was supposed to be in the mall that's right on Market, but that mall is kind of the Westfield sold it, so now we're not really sure what's going in there, and so they just picked a space that was outside, right off the square. So it's really nice. It's where the old, if you're familiar with San Francisco, it's where the old Disney store was, right next to, I can't remember the name of the hotel, but anyway, it's a pretty big space, and had we had time, we would have like went in and did stuff, but no, I asked the people who were like next in line to go inside how long they had waited, and when they said 40 to 45 minutes, I was like, nah, no thank you. Mind you, this was a Saturday too. So it was the weekend, and I'm probably gonna have to go back there during one of the days, like during the week, and see if I could get in. Because there was no way in hell we were waiting 45 minutes to go into that store. No, thank you.
One thing to keep in mind too is that there were basically online bids to go to the Nintendo store in San Francisco to buy Switch 2 hardware on top of software and accessories. So there were some people online that actually had a reservation to go on that day to buy Switch 2s, basically. So maybe that's the reason why the line was longer than normal. But
I didn't know that. But yeah, it was interesting though. Like to look inside, like it looks nice. It looks very nice. Although if you've been to one Nintendo store, the layouts are all kind of the same. But because it's that kind of like consumer that like uniformity that they have. But I'm just curious to see what else are they selling. I'm sure it's just going to be amiibos, and it's going to be the pillows and the accessories and and housewares and stuff like that. But still, I think it'd be really kind of cool to see that stuff. So
yeah, I was looking at what was at least some people's impressions of it, and they were like selling like stuff that you cannot buy anywhere else in the United States, even at the Nintendo store in New York. On here, they had like some like Kirby kitchenware kind of thing, like aprons and other tchotchke type stuff that basically was only available in Japan. So cool. We went to Japantown. The first time I've been down to Japantown in San Francisco in like a long time, and man, oh man, that place was crowded. And it's like the most.
Yeah, it was.
It was like. I've been to the Cherry Blossom Festival there a couple times, and it was probably not as crowded as like on those days, but it was pretty much just like every young new kid that just got introduced to anime just wants to go down to Japantown and like do the Kunikuya thing, go look at manga, go buy some crepes, all the usual business. So
it was fun.
So
like I'd been there just as long. What was that, Kev?
What was this like a special, like maybe a holiday that's observed in Japan? That
no, it's just a regular old Saturday,
regular Saturday. Wow.
Yeah,
it was great.
See the amount of people down there because I've been to Japantown since the '90s, so it's like I've been in and out of that place, and it's just to see it booming down there. It's kind of cool. So
yeah, I agree.
So other than, of course, seeing the Giants kick the Braves' ass a couple days, I enjoyed my time. I brought my Switch 2 on the train up to Desmond's on there. So Amtrak, pretty much I played some Switch 2 on the train, which we'll talk about during the playlist on there. But, I took the day off the day prior so I could secure my Switch and Desmond's Switch, and man, oh man, I wish I would have not waited in line at Best Buy for almost 2 hours for mine. So I literally went to Costco the next morning to buy Pro Controllers. I wound up buying Pro Controllers for me, Desmond, and Goonie. And they had Switch bundles right there. I went to Costco, and it was like literally like 30 minutes after they opened, and they still had a pallet worth of bundles there that I didn't have to wait in line for. Nothing. Yeah, so.
Well, thank you, Joe.
Scalpers
Your sacrifice
lost
does not go noticed. Thank you.
Your Switch actually came like at 6:15 in the morning. Walmart dropped it off on the damn doorstep.
And this bastard ate my Pringles and drank my soda. I was expecting to have that. He's like, that's the Switch tax. I'm like, man.
Well, yeah, Walmart, they gave it to Goonie as well. And
yes.
they had a canister of Pringles and a 20-ounce Coca-Cola.
What flavor of Pringles did you get?
I got original. Goonie got like barbecue brisket.
You know what? I would have been fine because I really like regular Pringles. Like I like regular like Pringles. I think regular was fine. But when I saw that, I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get it! Yay!" And then he posted that he ate my stuff. I don't care about the Coke. Drink the Coke. That's fine. But man, bring me my Pringles. Run me my Pringles. See, I was mad. I was mad about it. But it was fine. The Giants, completely trounced the the Braves, so I call that karma. Call that karma.
Blame it on Jabroni.
Yep. I was like, but until you do right by me, everything the Braves gonna do is gonna fail. Until you do right by me. I had to take it to the color purple. The color Pringle. I was like,
Man, F you, I'm gonna DoorDash you a fucking pallet of Pringles. I can shut the fuck up.
okay, enough. Enough.
Okay, I will not overuse the soundboard.
Too late. Jeez Louise.
All right, so before this goes any further off the rails, we're gonna bring it back to what is always our first topic on the docket, and that is the playlist. So you guys have a new bit of hardware to discuss, so I don't know, whoever wants to kick things off about the Switch 2 and your guys' impressions, you got the mic.
I'll let Joe go because, in all honesty, this is gonna sound really bad. I haven't really played it that much.
No.
Not that I don't want to, and not that I don't like want to, do it. It's just I've been super busy. Like I had a Kev week from hell, so I just have not been playing games. So I'll let Joe, because Joe has spent a lot more time with the Switch, so I will let Joe do his impressions first.
Yeah, well, first off, we'll talk about just the system itself, and maybe I'll kick it over to you too, Des, to talk about it. But as far as the system itself, I felt like, it was bigger, but it still felt ergonomically correct in my hands if need be.
Yeah.
Basically, I've mostly have used the system portably. I just barely got my dock out last night and had it connected to my living room TV, which is a 65-inch LG C1 OLED on there. And as far as how I feel about the system itself, I could definitely tell the difference in the screen between the Switch 2 and the Switch 1 OLED on there, much so that I'm not sure. I'll be playing it portably, obviously. I enjoy my time. When I took it on the train, I basically fired up Mario Kart World on there, so I was playing a lot of that on the train. I was doing some Grand Prix. I was doing the other, forgot the name of the mode, but I was doing a lot of open roaming as well, and I felt like that was kind of relaxing, where I didn't have to worry about doing races per se. I was just like kind of roaming in the open courses on the field itself, and even though you're going to compare it to like a Forza Horizon game, it's kind of sparse in a way compared to that, but I'm not comparing it to that. Other people tried to do that. It was enough for me to be able to get used to the kart mechanics and the new mechanics in the game. I really hadn't played much of Mario Kart 8 on there, so all the rail grinding and everything that they introduced to the Mario Kart World seemed kind of novel to me. They even had like some sort of drafting where if you follow an opponent in the back of their cart, that you actually get a boost after a while on there. So I thought that the gameplay aspect was kind of cool on there. So overall, is it an $80 game in my mind? $80 like 5 years ago? No, hell no. But I think the new $80 is the new $60 game from a few years ago. So, I'm glad it came with the Switch. I'm not sure if I would actually have bought Mario Kart World for $80 if it wasn't included in the bundle. I don't know about you, Des, if you would buy it separately or not. If that was the case,
I would have bought it. I play it with friends, so I most likely would have bought it. Yeah. But I don't know if it would have been a first day purchase, but I would have bought it.
Yeah. As far as the system transfer and everything, once you got the old Switch and the new Switch out, I decided to go ahead because I read something online and it was basically true is that you had one shot to do your system transfer, and that's right when you pretty much initiated and brought your account onto the Switch too. So,
Wait, it's
and
not something you can go back and do at a later, so it won't.
I think from what I read, people that did it later in the process did a system reboot to be able to go ahead and do the system transfer over properly on there. So, I mean, you can do it, but I think people encountered some problems with the transfer process after the fact. If you decide to transfer over a system like, a couple days afterwards or whatnot, because a lot of people were skipping that aspect of it to be able to go in and just start playing games and whatnot. So,
I mean, it seemed like it didn't take that long.
It wasn't that long, yeah. Basically, what it does is that it moved over, for me, only a couple of titles over, as far as backup saves for like games that were a little bit more complex, like Pokemon. And if I had an Animal Crossing save, that would have moved over as well on there. And then basically what it did is it brought up my library on my memory card and pretty much started to download all the games on my back catalog down from the internet, basically. So, and that's how it worked. And I was able to go in and prioritize downloads if need be. I also went in because of the fact that I hadn't played a lot of my physical games. I installed some physical games too. I got my kind of fridge in order per se, and got some updates for some of the games as well. So
I didn't do that.
How did the updates work? How did the updates work? Okay, so were you paid? Are they paid? Are they all paid?
Not all
or
of them.
some free?
No, they're not at all. There's only a certain number of games that actually have quote unquote Switch 2 paid upgrades, and that's going to be your boxed games like Breath of the Wild, Zelda Breath of the Wild, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, the new Kirby game that's coming out, basically the one that originally came out on Switch. That would have been
the Kirby open world adventure.
Land.
Forgotten.
Yeah,
okay.
Kirby and the Forgotten Land and Super Mario Jamboree. So there was also a number of games that got free updates for the Switch 2, including like Super Mario Odyssey, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
There's a list out there that you can actually find, and it'll tell you which ones have been, and there are quite a bit actually.
And then also above and beyond that, there's also Switch 1 games in back compat that give basically because they are unlocked, that get a performance boost from being played on the Switch 2. And that includes the games like, Zelda, like Hyrule Warriors, like Age of Calamity, Bayonetta 3, and other titles like that on there, that they're quite a bit more performant on the Switch. I know that Digital Foundry did a focus on Batman Arkham Knight on there, because I guess it was like a slideshow on the original Switch. Like it was a port that shouldn't have been attempted to be accomplished, and actually the horsepower of the Switch 2 kind of pushes that game up to 30 FPS. And same thing, Witcher 3 runs better on the Switch, and there's a number of other games. And there's like a master list that you can find out there. I know Resetera has a list on there, and they're going out to the community to have them like do individual testing and compile a list on there. But there's other outlets out there that are kind of releasing videos of comparisons between Switch 1 and Switch 2 on certain games.
Nintendo stuff looks better, and it was a free upgrade. So, sorry, the Pokemon stuff looks good, and it's a free upgrade. Joe and I actually went ahead and finally bought them, so we're definitely going to be playing those.
Scarlet and Violet is what we bought. So.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it looks like it's gonna be fun. I plan to play mine this coming week to actually get some actual impressions.
Yeah, what I want to try to do is do a game chat functionality on there and see how that works. I'm kind of inclined to just do a Discord chat and just do it that way, but you might as well see what Nintendo has to offer. I know when I went to the game chat button on my Switch 2, basically it brought up my friends list, and none of my friends said that it stated on there that none of my friends done the prep work to be able to be sent a game chat invite as of yet. And that includes like Goonie, John BT, and also UDES on there. So there might be something you need to go in and set up with game chat so you know that your profile is active to be able to enable game chat if need be. So
cool.
But
and that game chat requires Nintendo's online service, right?
Correct, yeah, and basically I know for the game chat function is that they're having it available for everyone until I think March 30th on there of next year. So even if you don't have a Nintendo online account on there, that or even an online expansion pass account, that you're able to still utilize the game chat. So
okay.
Yeah, the thing about the expansion pass too is that it's kind of cool because like the both the paid DLC for Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom is free on the expansion pass, along with your usual stuff like the Splatoon 2 and 3 DLC and the Mario Kart 8 courses and that kind of thing. So and plus all the backwards compatible stuff. Your GameCube. I have not tried GameCube yet as far as the catalog that's available on the Nintendo Online service yet. So, but I'm going to. I actually, even though I said I wasn't going to, and Desmond kind of gave me a little bit of a dookie about it, I did buy a GameCube controller because they had it available. So, me and controllers, oh boy, I love it. So,
okay.
Speaking of controllers, the Switch 2 Pro controller is pretty.
Feels good.
Really nice. Really nice.
Feels good in my hands.
2 back buttons I haven't really used them yet. I just discovered how to actually go and configure them. You have to hold the home button down and it'll bring up a little menu and you can change your back buttons on the fly on there. So if I'm going to compare it to a DualSense Edge, I probably would prefer a DualSense Edge, but that's just me. So, because I'm a snob, right, Des?
I would never say that you're a snob, Joe.
Well, doesn't its shape come more put it in line with the Xbox? Well, I forgot what is the Xbox?
The Elite 2?
Or control Elite 2. Doesn't it put it more in mind of the Elite 2?
No, I would say it's super comfortable. It uses membrane buttons on the face pad. The back buttons are membrane as well. So, I mean, it's just a super comfortable, like, Nintendo-esque Pro controller is what I'm going to say.
Feels smaller, too.
Yeah.
Got a little heft to it. Got a little weight to it. It's smaller. It feels like you could use the back buttons with your middle fingers, how they're placed on the sides of the grips. So, I mean, it doesn't feel bad. Like I'm not a full like fledged like, I gotta have back buttons. But the way the back buttons were put on here, they felt like they were pretty okay. So
okay,
now
not bad.
I did try one game backwards compatible because I've been kind of wanting to go back and play this game, and I happen to own it on the Switch as well as the PlayStation. As that would be Dragon Quest XI on there. And so I tried that, and as soon as I saw that, unfortunately, because of my playthrough on the PlayStation 5, especially with HDR and looking at it and playing on the screen, I could tell right away basically that the game just really didn't kind of hold its weight compared to the PlayStation version. So, and I was thinking maybe it was just a lack of resolution on the screen, because the thing about the Dragon Quest 11 specifically is that it's a 720p game that is being up-res to 1080p on the Switch 2 screen on there. So I actually fired it up on the Switch 1 OLED and took a look, and even there, I mean, looking at it there, I mean, it just didn't compare to playing it on a 65-inch, living room setup on there. So I'll probably discontinue my playthrough of Dragon Quest XI on the Switch altogether. There's too many other games I want to actually get to play, and stuff that's on the Switch that I could play Dragon Quest XI easily on PlayStation if need be. So I also tried a little bit Fast Fusion, which is the racing game from Shinen on there, and it's kind of similar to a Wipeout type game, but there's kind of a little bit of peculiarities, at least a little bit different, that takes it out of the norm of like a usual space racer if need be. There's like a jump button so you could actually jump off the course, and you have to jump over some obstacles at some point. So that's something I wasn't used to. I'm still getting used to the boost system as well on that game. But I think if anyone has a Switch 2, that they should pick up Fast Fusion. It's $15. It's like a really comparable, competent. Like, if you remember playing Wipeout back in the day, Desmond, I definitely want to play this multiplayer with you. And since I own the game, we could play it multiplayer basically online. You can download the game without having to buy it.
Cool.
And you'll be able to play Fast Fusion if need be. So, and I think, Kev, if you do decide to get a Switch 2, I think you would like Fast Fusion as well. I mean, it's a racing game in the Wipeout kind of genre on there, and the graphics and everything on it is just top notch on there. It's a Switch 2 exclusive as well. So
okay,
yeah,
kind of like a Wipeout type deal.
Wipeout type deal, a little bit different mechanics. You actually jump off the course. It kind of reminds me of that. If you remember that Xbox kind of spiritual Wipeout successor, I'm talking about the original Xbox. I think it was called. Right off the tip of my tongue, like Quantum something. I'm trying to think of the name of it, but if you like Wipeout, you definitely enjoy Fast Fusion. It's $15. I think for any Switch 2 owner, I would definitely recommend it.
Okay,
that's a good price.
It's a great price, actually. So, and it's something to where, like I was telling Desmond just earlier, Kev, is that if I own the game that me and you could play. You could download the game off the cloud or whatnot, and it supports that. And you can play up to 4-player multiplayer as well with the game as well. So
cool.
Okay, so it does not block out the owner.
No, it doesn't.
From playing. Okay, all right.
Yeah, they built it into the game so you could easily get people together to be able to play multiplayer with. So
okay.
Also, I played in the last couple of weeks Revenge of the Savage Planet. So I played the sequel to Journey to the Savage Planet, and man, oh man, that game is really good, actually. So they basically took the formula of that first game, and they kind of went ahead and they made it a third-person platformer versus a first-person platformer. So that's the biggest significant change with that particular game on there. And it just, even though I appreciated Journey for what it was as far as first person and a lot of the platforming and everything, the difficulty with it, it just makes it just so much more fun to me playing that game in a third camera perspective on there. So I actually brought the game with me to Desmond's and was trying to get him to play it, but I know that we didn't have time and whatnot. But it does support like a split screen multiplayer too on the PlayStation if need be. And so I would definitely recommend, if you're interested in that game, to check it out. I started playing a playthrough with John BT a little bit, and so that's my only exposure to the game so far. So I'm gonna get a single player playthrough going with that game the next couple days, kind of go from there. And then I've also been playing Monster Hunter Wild still. So the Street Fighter.
Real quick before we move forward, do you think people should play the first Savage Planet, or do you think they could just kind of jump into the new one?
I think they should be able to jump into the new one on there.
Okay. But is it like a different take, or is it like a continuation of the character you were in that first game?
It's a different character on there basically, but the storyline continues with all the wackiness of that original owner of the first. Yeah, because basically the whole storyline is that particular owner of the Space Corporation, the third place Space Corporation, either third or fourth place, he's in the game, and you get to see he's sold out to a megacorp, and the megacorp's sending you out to a planet, and of course first thing that happens when you land on the planet is you find out you got fired, basically that your services are no longer needed after you've been spending 100 years in a cryo tube flying out to some random planet to do some discovery and that kind of thing. So,
as you do.
And what's new about the game from the first title too is that there's a lot more, like, you could go out and discover like species out there. There's a lot more scanning to do than the first game.
Well, that's good.
And you could actually like kind of find things out in the environment to actually like customize rooms in your space Winnebago. It's like a Winnebago with an awning and a whole 9 yards. You land in like basically New Florida on this planet. So
New Florida.
New Florida, yes.
Okay.
You have a Winnebago with like a barbecue on the top and the whole kit and caboodle. So,
All right, let's go then.
yeah. The game is on Game Pass for the people that do have access to Xbox Game Pass, but there was a nice news story from the producer of the game saying that that putting a game into a game service on day one, it might be quote unquote a mistake on there. So I found it as interesting. I'm just hopefully people on other platforms can support them to be able to purchase said game and not just rely on Game Pass on there. So both me and John picked it up. I mean, it's like physical. It was like $50, but I enjoyed that first game so much. I said, no, I want to pick this up and enjoy it. So
Cool.
last game I've been. Oh, good.
Yeah.
All right.
No, that was it. That was just. I just wanted to see how you were, what you thought about it.
Yeah, I definitely recommend if you enjoyed the first game, Des, I pick it up, buy it, and do whatever you need to do to play it. So
Cool, we'll do.
And then last game I've been still playing. I'm still playing Monster Hunter Wild. So I'm not as obsessed. You know, when they were having the event, if need be. I know the Street Fighter DLC just came out on there, and I'm still making my way through that. I haven't even gotten Akuma yet, but you know, I'm going to be able to, you know, at least get through that. And I know the latest like content drop is going to happen at the end of this month. So still enjoying it quite a bit. You know, after I took like a little break from it because of the fact I went over to Desmond's last weekend, got back and it's like I was actually missing playing the Greatsword a little bit. So I've been mixing it up a little bit more between just mainlining the Lance on there. So, but you know, I'm looking forward to fighting Mitsuzune, and still going to be playing Monster Hunter Wild. So, I also got an invite for a Borderlands 4 event next weekend. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it or not. It's all about driving to LA or making some way down to LA and whatnot.
Yeah.
So,
if you were a devoted fan, you'd make it.
Oh yeah, sure.
That pilgrimage.
No.
You'd make that way to cough up that $80.
That's right.
If there's a magic thumb drive at what's that medieval times out there? If they're having it at medieval times, then maybe head down there.
Call it Borderlands time.
Yeah, there you go. Good old Randy Pitchford. Maybe I'd be able to see him in person. It'd be highlight of my life.
I'm just saying, you don't want him to be mad at you. Wring your pockets out.
That was kind of funny. I went to go to the movies this weekend, and they're like selling old movie merch, like 50% off, and they had a bunch of Borderlands T-shirts and Borderlands movie merch out there.
Wow,
it's goddamn. I think if they even put it at 95% off, they still wouldn't be able to sell that. So, kind of felt
for
bad
a penny.
Buy that for $1.
Joe would buy that for $1.
So, Des, what's your overall impressions of the Switch 2? What we haven't covered so far?
Like I said, I haven't really played with it that much. You know, just was looking at it, doing the. It's much snappier. It's faster. It loads better. It does. You know, it does look overall better. It is bigger in the hands. I feel that it for me. It feels better in the hands, you know, when I'm holding it and in handheld mode. So, but yeah, that's really all I can say about it. You know,
have you connected it to the dock, or have you connected to your TV yet?
So yeah, I connected it, but I have to get behind my my setup. For the wires, because you have to use the new AC adapter. You cannot use the old AC adapter for the other one. So I have to go in and switch out the AC adapters. So that's
Yeah,
another
I had to
reason
do
why I
that.
haven't really. Another reason why I haven't done it yet. So because I have to switch it out. But
I
other
was
than that, I'm
having
gonna do it.
issues. I was having issues
What kind
last
of
night
issues were
with
you
the dock.
having?
Basically with my OLED TV, it looks
Didn't
like
want to see
crap
it.
on HDR. HDR is super washed out. And
Oh,
there's a setting on that LG OLED that I need to go in, and I read online it has to do with a particular setting. I changed it to that particular setting, but it still looks washed out. So I'm
mm.
gonna have to do a little bit more sleuthing to be able to figure that out. So
I'm sure you'll get it, Joe. I believe in you,
you know
buddy.
it.
But all right. What about you, Kev?
So I had one question about the Switch too.
Sure.
Are either one of you going to start using it as a as a means of playing multiplats, or is this an exclusive only device? What were you
Uh,
impressed enough by the performance to maybe start switching over and playing multiplats on this thing?
I will play. I will play mostly multiplats that Joe wants to play, and the ones that are exclusive to Nintendo. For multiplats, I'm for like multi-console multiplats. I'm gonna play it on PlayStation 5. That's just what I'm gonna do. But Joe had said that he wanted to play Xenogears.
Xenoblade Chronicles
Xenoblade
X.
Chronicles X, and so he wants to play that, and so we're gonna play that multiplayer. So that's a game that I'll play multiplayer with him. But in the future, it's not gonna be. I'm not gonna play a ton of multiplats on the Nintendo. It's just for me, like I don't think now if folks want to play like Mario Kart and stuff like that, well, yeah, of course. If people want to play Mario Party, yeah, sure, of course. But like big name multiplayer games, no, I'm gonna play that on the PlayStation 5. I just that is my preferred to play multiplayer. So at this point, I can't see myself doing that. In all honesty, how about you, Joe?
For me, unless it's something that a game that would lend to portable play a little bit. But even like, I just with the whole game key card business, I did buy Bravely Default. I did put the card in and I downloaded the game off the internet. So it's like I'm more of a PlayStation fan, and so obviously, I mean, I have PlayStation 5 Pro, and so if I'm going to have a choice where a game's going to be more performant, I'm going to play it on my platform of choice on there, So if it's something that lends itself, though, if it's like an easier game that maybe, like, for instance, like, we're going to talk about in the news, but the new Hot Shots golf that's coming out. It's coming out for both PlayStation 5 and Switch 2, and it's like I got to think about it, especially for a game like that, am I really gonna get any sort of performance out of a Switch 5 Pro version of Hot Shots versus playing on the Switch 2? Probably not on there. So I would definitely think about it. Just it's going to depend game by game by game on there. I think playing Hot Shots portably would lend itself well, in my opinion. I don't know how you feel about that, Des, but
Agree. I would agree.
yeah.
All right.
So what games have you been playing, Kev?
So I haven't been playing much anything. When I do have time, it's been Helldivers 2. There was a recent update. I believe it's called Rule of Law or something of Law. I can't remember which. And they added a couple new weapons, some really good armor sets. And the weapons, on the other hand, were kind of a mixed bag. Like they gave the drone, your kind of like the drone option. They gave it a blitzer, but it doesn't do very well. It's not as effective as the laser, the machine gun, or the gas version. The gas one is awesome. I am a gas convert because they have buffed the hell out of the gas weapons and grenades, and it just shreds bugs. Like, it's almost better than flame. I think in a lot of ways it is better than Flame because it confuses them and it causes them to attack each other. So the effects kind of kick in pretty much instantaneously. And if you're fighting bugs, like for me personally, I always have something gas. I usually roll with gas grenades and the gas drone, the dog breath, as they call it, which is kind of funny. They also introduce the bugs into the mega cities. So this is not on Super Earth. The planets that have mega cities, they introduced fighting bugs there, which is like a whole new way of experiencing them. It's very fun. The spawn points are a little bit I think are a little bit wonky, so I think there probably needs to be some updates to kind of even that out. Chargers can knock buildings down, so running into a building is not going to help you. And gosh, and I haven't fought because I'm still soloing on the challenging level. I think I'm good enough where I can kick the difficulty up another notch. So that would put me one level behind Super Helldiver, which my ultimate goal is to be able to solo Super Helldive missions. That's what I've been working towards all this time. But when I have the opportunity, it's Helldivers 2. AC Shadows has been dropped. I'm kind of sad that I had to drop it, but I put myself in a trick bag with regards to leveling up, and the game does not really... I mean, the game gives you options to get out of it, but I don't like the fact that I would have to do busy work to level up and then return back to it. That irks the hell out of me. So the mission in particular is a story mission. It's not a side mission. It's crucial to the main story. I was really kind of getting into the deception that was going on behalf of the work that we had done for this particular lord, and he's a scumbag. And now we got to take him out. The problem is he's level 20. He's level 22. Yasuke and Naoe, I have them both at level 22. The problem is that my strongest weapon for Yasuke is level 18. The strongest level that I have for Naoe is level 24. I cannot use that sword because I'm only level 21. And the strongest weapon that I have for Naoe is level 19. So basically, I'm in the same trick bag as if I'm fighting enemies that are 3 and 4 levels above me. Using a weapon that's 18 or 19 on somebody who's level 21 or 22, you're not doing any damage to him. It's like Naoe has an attack where with using her dagger, and there's a specific name for the daggers. I can't remember it. I've got poison on this thing. I've got status debuffs. I've got everything on this thing, but it's level 8. It's level 18. So I'm stabbing this dude in the throat, and it's barely having an effect on his health bar. And I'm not high enough level to use the level 24 sword that I have for her. And I just found it frustrating. The game doesn't really allow you to play how you want to play. You have to have leveling up always in the back of your mind, not only with both Yasuke and Naoe and their base character levels and attributes. You also have to consider the weapons. So you may be at the right level to take on a series of missions, but do you have the correct weapon, or is your weapon leveled up enough to do so? I have not done the side quests to upgrade the forge. So, because at my home base, I have a forge option. So you could say, well, you could just upgrade the forge and do it that way. Well, I didn't feel like doing that busy work. I want to be able to focus on the main story, and this game does not really allow you to do that. So unfortunately, I've uninstalled the game, and I'm probably going to sell it. And it's not because it's a bad game. It is a good game, but you just have to be the right type of player to really get the most out of these newer Assassin's Creed games. And I'm saying it probably started with Origins. When they started incorporating these levels, it really changed the way that you played AC games. And I'm not really a fan of it. I am hoping this new one that they're working on supposedly is more of a return to the original formula, where enemies don't have levels anymore. Maybe they are just more difficult to deal with, and maybe you have to make sure you have the right loadout, but levels are no longer an issue, because that to me really strips the fun out of Assassin's Creed games. So I had to put that down. So what I will be playing in lieu of that, I'm dipping into my backlog, and to my shame, I have not played Devil May Cry 5. So Devil May Cry 5 has been loaded up and ready to go, and I am probably going to incorporate, and this is assuming that I have, a reasonable amount of time to play during the week, which I don't. So I'm trying to focus more on like action games and games that are not super long. So I've got Space Marine 2 in the hip pocket, and possibly Stellar Blade also in the hip pocket. I'm not going to fool myself into thinking that I'm going to be playing 3 different action games simultaneously. I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to go with either Devil May Cry 5 for sure, and probably either Space Marine 2 or Stellar Blade, both of which games that I want to finish. I'll probably start over in both of them because it has been so long since I started. I did not get very far in the campaigns on either, and it would just be, well, maybe not with Stellar Blade, because I still kind of sort of remember what I'm doing in that. I'll have to go back and think about it, but Space Marine 2 for sure will be started over again, because I don't remember what the hell I was doing in that game. So that's pretty much all I have been up to. One thing I did do, I cannot recall if I mentioned this in our last recording. Hulu Hulu is kicking butt in like their content right now. I mainlined Killer of Killers, the new Predator animated series that they've got up on Hulu. That is freaking awesome. It is as good, if not better, than Prey, which was the movie that they did that everybody was hating on, because what's this little Indian woman doing fighting a predator? Prey was excellent. It continues in that same vein, but what's dope about it is that it kind of gives you an insight on how long the predators have been coming to Earth and causing problems. They are basically, and it kind of takes you through certain time periods. It is fantastic. If you have Hulu, you need to stop whatever you're watching and watch that. if you are debating about getting Hulu, look for a deal, look for a promo somewhere online, get it, and watch Killer of Killers. It is absolutely fantastic. While working on my side quest, not side quest, my side hustles. I had that going kind of in the background, and I just had to put whatever I was doing on pause. When I just started, I mainlined the whole thing like in pretty much in a day, and it's absolutely fantastic. So highly recommend checking out Killer of Killers. But that's going to do it for what I've been up to. So we're going to kick it now over to Dez for our main event specials. All right, man, you got the mic.
All righty. So last episode's question, and this was answered. The question from not last week's, their last episode, but the episode before that. There was a question that we asked, and that was, what are your 3 favorite arcade games of all time? And John BT came through and let us know what his 3 top arcade games are in no particular order. So, the first one was Black Tiger. My man. Fantastic. Thank you so much. It's like the other one to Sidearms. And it's he says, I always played this game when it was at an arcade. I loved how it had a Castlevania feel to it, and the action was fantastic. Agree with you 100%. I would actually say this was a little bit better than Sidearms, only because this felt like you could actually feel yourself growing, whereas in Sidearms, it was much more of a shooter quarter, hog. I mean, Black Tiger was the same, but this one, it felt you felt like you were progressing a little bit more. So yes, but yeah, I would say Black Tiger was probably the one that was a little bit better than Sidearms, but they were made by the same people, so there you go.
Black Tiger was excellent. I love Black Tiger. So in fact, I don't know, Kev, if you remember Black Tiger from Festival, but yeah, it's like I would go to that machine, and
we had it at Bullard too.
Yeah, it was at Bullard High School, and I went to Bullard High School for a month.
Yeah. The next game in his top 3 were Tron, and this is specifically the one that had the 4 games you chose at the start. So it had bikes, spiders, MCP, Breakout, and tanks. I still play this at my local barcade. So I remember this one, and this is always the one that I think about when Kev talks about discs of Tron. Because this is the one that I think, if I remember correctly, it had the one where you could sit down in it. And you were like sitting in like a car or something. The cabinet was one you could sit in, and I remember playing this. And I had always played the bikes because I was a bike person. I loved the bikes. I'd always get messed up, but I loved the bikes. And I also played Breakout too. Like they were all pretty fun. Do you remember that one? Am I talking smoke, or was that no,
that was a thing? That was
you
not
could fit in it, right?
Yeah, there was a version that was a sit down. I remember seeing one, but Discs of Tron and Tron were 2 different games.
Okay.
Yeah, Discs of Tron was just discs. You were just throwing discs back and forth at SART.
Okay. Yeah, it was like a 3D, like kind of like almost like a rotoscope. Yeah.
But yeah, the other one, Discs of Tron, that's all you were doing. Running between 3 hover platforms and ricocheting discs back and forth. That's all you were doing.
Cool. And then his last one was House of the Dead. Any of them. I have beat most of these in the arcade. Best shooting series ever. So, okay. I don't want to say that I was not a fan of the light gun type of craze that happened back in the day, but I wasn't a fan. I don't know, like being on the rails and running through the house and shooting stuff. that's just too much for me. Like I even as a small child, I do not have the best hand-eye coordination. So I would definitely always get busted up playing those games. So for me, I'd always stay clear of these ones. What about you two?
Those games were quarter hogs, man. They were
Yeah, they were.
They were set up for you to take damage if you didn't know when the zombies were going to do their like a sneak attack. You pretty much had to already be shooting in that area before they popped up, and you had to make sure you hit them in the head, and maybe you would get away without taking damage. The ones that I played, man, cheap as all get out. I don't know if it was a dip switch setting on there that made them that way, but they were fun, but they were never something that I would make special make a special intent to play. They were cool, don't get me wrong, but I just couldn't get with the cheapness. I'm walking down a hallway and some zombie just kind of pops up, and as soon as he pops up, he's hitting me with damage. I mean, there's no preface to an attack. There's none of that. And then the bosses that are shooting stuff at you, they'll be shooting something at you from a distance, and then all of a sudden, like a bullet will just miraculously pop up right in front of your face, and you take the hit. No, the House of the Dead, some of the cheapest arcade games I ever played. So fun, yes, but
Is that your feeling, Joe, or were you like, no, I loved it?
Are you talking about House of the Dead or just like gun games in general?
House of the Dead specifically. Let's do that.
House of the Dead I actually enjoyed quite a bit. I mean, I was a Sega fan at that time, and pretty much it's all about pattern recognition, and I played the original House of the Dead quite a bit, actually. So, and of course, getting the home versions is a lot better. I mean, obviously, I love light gun games from back in the day. I mean, I remember playing a ton of Virtua Cop 2 on the Saturn specifically, and then, of course, Time Crisis on the PlayStation. So, I mean, light gun games were always my jam a little bit, especially at the arcade. So, cheaper, because light gun games are always going to be cheap. So, regardless, but to me, the bigger the better as far as arcade games are concerned. I mean, this one Sega game was called Gunblade New York that they had at Blackbeard's, and they had like a gigantic machine gun mounted to the front of it, and I loved that game. That game was the shit. So
it was the Shihu.
It was the Shihu, yeah.
Well, cool. Thank you so much, John, for adding your top 3 arcade games in no particular order. We really appreciate that. So the question for last episode was if you bought a Switch 2, what games are you excited to play on the system? If you haven't bought a Switch 2 yet, what games would make you rush down to your local retailer to buy one? So we got a couple of responses from that, but we're going to hold it over to our next episode because we want to hear what you have to say. Like, this is a big thing. We got a new system out there. We want to know your thoughts about it. So let us know. We're going to hold it over to the next episode. We're going to post the question again because we really want to get some information from all of you. We want to get some feedback. Also, that gives us enough time to go over the Jabroni Gaming news because while we were gone, we had a literal bunch of video game conferences. And we want to talk about that. And you know who's going to talk about that? Jabroni in his Jabroni Gaming news.
All right, thank you, Des.
You're welcome, sir.
Of course, yeah. Keighley 3 happened, and obviously it was just a bunch of shows. Which, for the first time in a while, we used to, at least in years past, have a watching party on the Discord. Well, it's hard to have a watching party on the Discord when I'm on an Amtrak train or at Desmond's house on there, so it's like, yeah, it was because of my trip. Pretty much we did not do the usual thing. And actually, I think in a way it was actually a good thing for everyone involved. So we didn't have to watch this all in real time, so I enjoy seeing reactions though, of course, especially when I had multiple people in there. So it's something that's was good. But I think overall, I think a lot of these shows, especially the Summer Games Fest and Xbox Game Showcase, didn't really hit as much as well for me as years past. So, but we'll break every show down. So we'll start off with the state of play. So we're going to talk about games that we kind of like from each conference on there. So and before I dive into the actual titles themselves, I'm going to go round robin to see how you guys felt about the actual show itself. And as far as state of play, I think it was probably my favorite out of the numerous shows that were on over the weekend. And it's kind of funny that it actually was broadcast prior to, all the other shows in general. So I think it was a lot of varied and variety involved as far as what they showed at State of Play. And it was something to where it wasn't, super hype, but at the end of it, I think they had a really good show for the 40 minutes or so that they broadcast for that particular presentation on there. Des, what's your overall impressions of State of Play?
I liked it. I thought it was really good. It had some of the games that I really was like, okay, cool. I'm trying not to sound too much like a pony, but
I know.
but it had some really good games that it showcased. And I'd have to say that yeah, as someone who is a predominantly PlayStation player, I'd have to say that yeah, it really felt good. So yeah.
How about you, Kev? What's your overall just solid impressions of State of Play? If you had to give a letter grade, what would you give it?
I'd probably give it an A minus. This was kind of like a return to the E3s when we had PS2 and I guess PS3, just a heavy Japanese content focus. And I know a lot of folks were thinking that PlayStation was kind of falling away from their Japanese roots, given that they had closed I can't remember the name of the studio. They did that pet game where it was like the end of the world and only the pets were alive, and a couple other. I had what was that? Sumo? Was it Sumo?
Are you talking about Tokyo Jungle is the name of the game?
Yeah, Tokyo Jungle. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, that was all Sony Computer Entertainment Japan, basically. So okay. It's like SEIE, basically the ones that also did Gravity Rush and Patapon and any number of different games, especially during the PSP era. So
yeah, so this felt more like a return to form, as cliche as that phrase has become. This was like a return to form for PlayStation, kind of hitting those really solid notes of Japanese content that drew me to the system to begin with. So I and the only reason I'm giving it an A minus was the fact that they teased Yote, just give you just a bit, and then oh, by the way, we're gonna do a deep dive in July, and it's like, okay, you could have just put that out in a tweet. you didn't have to tease, dick tease folks like that.
Mm-hmm. Stop teasing and start pleasing.
Yeah, you didn't have to do all that. But as far as the content, I mean, the content really, overall, definitely the best show of the summer, as far as that goes. And it was just nobody sitting on a couch. We're not walking through studios watching developers drink coffee. it was just game after game after game after game after game, and that's really how I like these shows to go. I don't want to hear about how uh, the new espresso machine in the break room is just bringing all this creativity and positivity into your workspace. I just want to see the games. So I really like the way they do the state of plays.
Yeah, it's way different from if you remember Sony's last E3 presentation before E3 kicked the bucket with the panther guy coming out for Ghost of Tsushima.
I mean, I can respect the trying to do like some type of theatrical flair, but ain't nobody here for that. We just want to see content.
I like Panther guy.
I ain't here for a concert. I'm here to see what I'm going to be spending my money on this coming year. But yeah, so I really dug the show.
Yeah, I did too. If I had to give a letter grade, it'd be like a solid B plus A minus.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah. Well, let's go talk about some of the games that were shown. So pretty much, I think two of us, me and Dez, both listed Everybody's Golf Hot Shots on there. So this was originally shown on a Nintendo Switch, Switch Direct kind of, and it was also focused on here because, this game is a PlayStation Studios game. It's pretty much, if you know Hot Shots Golf, Everybody's Golf, it is coming back on here. I'm kind of eager to see what happens with this. Bandai Namco is handling it. Clap Hands, the longtime developer of Hot Shots, is no longer involved with the series, and so I'm kind of curious how they're going to handle it, if it's going to play a little bit differently from the Clap Hands versions of the game on here. Of course, with the Bandai Namco roots, you're going to have Pac-Man as being the surprise guest star in the game, too, so if you do pre-order the game, you get that as a special unlockable character, so... But I'm kind of excited for Hot Shots. Like I said on our playlist segment, I'm not sure if I'm going to buy it for PlayStation or Switch 2, or maybe even double dip. God forbid I do that. Des, what's your overall wanting this for Hot Shots? You just eager to play it?
I think it'll be fun. I haven't played a really good golf game in a long time, and that's why I think it's going to be pretty fun. And I know that you like it. I know that Kev really enjoys it. So I figured that's one of those games that the three of us can play together, and that's why I will be playing it on the Xbox.
On PlayStation?
Sorry, PlayStation. Sorry.
Sounds like you might want to buy an Xbox. It's the second time you said Xbox instead of PlayStation. So
no, it's on my mind. I have something to talk about when we get to that. So
all right, good deal. I think also John BT might want to play this. I remember he bought Mario Golf, like anticipating for the Switch, wanting to play a great golf game, and I think that might steered him wrong from buying anything digitally. So, also another game that kind of spoke to us, or spoke to me specifically, is Final Fantasy Tactics. So, Final Fantasy Tactics basically had been long rumored to come back in some sort of form or fashion, and pretty much it is a remaster. You are able to play both the original PlayStation 1 version and also a redone version with voice acting and some additional scenarios. They did get the original creators involved too. So Matsuno is involved as far as writing the additional scenarios. So coming out in September, it's a $50 retail product for a remaster. So, but I think, I think it's well-deserved. I think a lot of people out there have been waiting for the Final Fantasy Tactics to come back, and so I'm definitely excited for it. So if you're looking for the physical is an Amazon exclusive. So they're doing this again. Square did an Amazon exclusive for Fantasian that came out last year, and so they have the exclusive rights to the physical for the US as well. So if you do want to pre-order it from Amazon. I know other retailers like VGP and whatnot will have it available as well. So, all right. Next game, Romeo is a Dead Man. So this is the latest from Grasshopper Entertainment. So Suda51, of course, as soon as I saw this trailer and as soon as I saw fantasy violence, sci-fi violence or whatever the tagline was with this one. It's just like kind of nuts. I just been waiting for something new from Grasshopper. That's they've been doing some No More Heroes stuff on there, but I'm really kind of up for it. Kev, what's your overall impression of the trailer for Romeo as a Dead Man?
I kind of feel like it is like a spiritual successor to No More Heroes. I mean,
Yeah.
the sword play, he's kind of adding gunplay into this. Absolute back crap crazy nonsense going on, sticking some type of device in some dude's eye as some zombies chewing on his arm, turning him into this dead man character. And this is like it was games like this that sold me on the PlayStation 2. Well, on the PlayStation brand in general, it's like originally it was like games like, of course, God Hand, and it was, what was that one with the, oh gosh, I was about to say, anyway.
You think of it like Samurai Western or something?
No, it was the one where you were kind of like, it was,
Shadows of the Dam?
It was a Capcom game, and you were like this kind of like this Power Ranger looking dude. It was kind of like a 2D game.
Oh, Beautiful Joe. Beautiful
Joe, yeah. Beautiful Joe and stuff like that really kind of drew me into the PlayStation ecosystem. So I see this and I'm just like, sign me up. So one of the top games amongst all the shows, in my opinion. And I can't wait to play it.
Yeah, it kind of brings that old school vibe. I mean, to me, it's just like, blood, guts, and gore, just everything just over top. It just seems like something that Suda, these other games were looking to bring forth like high art or whatever, and this is just straight ass, just video game ass shit, basically. So. And so that's why I love him for that, and love the team at Grasshopper for that, because I love wacky action adventure games that only could be done in a video game format. So
yeah.
Also, too, Pragmata was a game that all three of us kind of look forward to and notated on this. So Pragmata, if you don't remember, it was shown like a few years ago at another PlayStation event on here, and a lot of people were calling it like the second coming of Deep Down, the old Capcom game for PlayStation 3, because no one heard nothing about this game for a couple of years. And so this game kind of has some sci-fi elements to it. You do work with this little girl named Diana on here. I know that there's some gameplay impressions out there from people that went to this Summer Games Fest event on there, so there might be more impressions online as far as how the game plays. It's like, to me, anytime that new IP, especially from Capcom, comes through, I'm really interested to see what they could bring to the table on there. I think they have a good pedigree, and graphically the game looks great on there. So Des, what's your overall feelings about Pragmata? Is it going to be a day one get for you?
You know what I'm feeling? I'm getting a little bit of BioShock with it, and that's only because it feels like it's like a Big Daddy type of situation. But I definitely will be looking at the reviews, and I probably will be picking it up. I don't know when. But I probably will be picking it up because it looked fun, and then the movement looked fun, and the combat looked fun. I'm interested about this little girl, what she can do. So yeah, and
especially with the strategy elements, and it doesn't look like a totally just balls out action game. There's some thought behind it. So, Kev, any thoughts about Pragmata before we move on?
Yeah, it's kind of like a reverse Death Stranding. Instead of carrying this baby in like some sci-fi satchel, it's just hanging on the back of your head. And hacking robots and I dig it. I dig it. It's definitely going to be that's a day one get for me personally. Um, I kind of like the idea of kind of like teaming up. It's almost like Halo in a way too, except that the AI is taking up this physical android form and it's kind of helping you in real time as opposed to just something that's living in your head. So I kind of dig that aspect of it. So that there's definitely going to be you can already see that there's going to be like a father daughter type relationship that grows during this adventure, and I'm kind of interested to seeing how that fleshes out.
Right. And another game that kind of just spoke to me and me alone was a Digimon Story Time Strangers. So this was shown at a previous state of play earlier this year, but they got a release date basically with this and a little bit further look. And I'm not like a huge Digimon fan or anything like that, but to me, if I'm going to play a Pokemon game, I'm going to play something like this. This looks like, if I'm going to play a monster taming RPG, this looks pretty badass. I like the anime look of it. I'm kind of wanting to play it day one, so I'll have to see. Desmond, any interest in Digimon Story at all, or it's pretty much
No,
get
thank
this
you.
trash out of here? Yeah.
No, thank you.
Okay.
Enjoy
All
it,
right.
Joe, but no, thank you.
All
Okay.
right. Good deal. All right. So, and also on the show, let's see what else we kind of liked here. Silent Hill F. So this is basically a new developed Silent Hill title. It is being developed in, I think, Taiwan, I believe. And it's the first Silent Hill game that actually brings you into a Japanese storyline as far as being based in Japan. Kev, what did you like about Silent Hill F that you saw?
So it takes place in the 60s, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Definitely is like a few decades prior to current day, for sure. I like the idea of, well, Silent Hill, you were never like like a soldier type dude fighting all this stuff. But I think putting you in the shoes of a teenage girl, she looks teenage to me.
She is.
Having to deal with this, like everybody's disappeared and there's blood everywhere. And I mean, Japanese horror is funky. Like,
They don't play.
Super fun. No, they do not play.
Mm-mm.
And I'm really looking forward to that spin within the Silent Hill universe and seeing how it is just, there's just something really weird about seeing a teenage girl busting some weird limbed zombie, whatever the hell thing coming at her upside the head. And it's like, sign me up. Sign me up. It is almost, it's got like a dark anime vibe, if you will, to it. Because there have been some animes where I'm thinking in particular, what was it? Was it? Oh damn! I was just about to say the name of it. Where it was like where there was this this dude who was a victim of it's like a science fiction, a science experiment for the military. And this anime came out like in the 80s, and it was very grim, very dark. And the person that was helping him was basically this teenage girl, schoolgirl. Kind of looks similar, if I'm remembering correctly, to the way this girl looks, so like with a uniform and everything else. But I'm looking forward to it. It looks hella scary, and yeah.
Now there's an interview out there with series producer Motai Yakamoto, and he basically said that he felt like this game's bringing back the Japanese horror to the series. That it seemed like he said that the Japanese horror was kind of lost in subsequent games in the series, They were
Yeah.
taking more inspiration from American horror, So I'm kind of curious about this game too. I'll have to see how it plays out and kind of go from there. But kind of take a look. Now, one game that was a super surprise to everyone as soon as it got dropped, it was at the end of the state of play, and so we got to see a new Marvel fighting game, but not from Capcom. It is actually from
Arc System
Arc
Works.
System
Arc
Works. Yeah,
System
so
Works.
Marvel Token Fighting Souls
Mm-mm.
on here basically got its blowout on the state of play, and if you watch the entire trailer, including the announced trailer and the interviews afterwards, this is a kind of collaboration between PlayStation Studios, Arc System Works, and Marvel. So they kind of Marvel and PlayStation said, "Okay, we want to do a new Marvel fighting game. Let's go talk to Arc System Works," and they're just having dinner and pretty much gave them the opportunity to be able to do a Marvel game. And so this is like, watching a breakdown of the game itself, I mean, it's not a 3v3 versus fighting game. It's going to be a 4v4 fighting game. So, I know I was watching Maximilian Dude kind of break down the trailer a little bit and taking a look at some of the moves and whatnot. And he was basically saying that a lot of the movements of the Marvel characters are very similar to Dragon Ball Fighters a little bit. So there's definitely some inspiration from previous Arc System Work games there. It's rolling up through this thing, but I think, you can't wait for Capcom to work with Marvel and come up with a new game. I guess they just wanted to go after it and maybe create something new on this thing. So I'm super excited for the game. Kev, I'm going to kick it over to you. What's your overall feeling about the game?
Well, I think this is a big deal. This is a huge deal in the both as far as like their live service as well as what it means to the fighting game community and Marvel. Because like right now, I don't even know if Capcom could have done a Marvel versus game if they wanted to. Who knows what it might have just meant too many licensing issues that they maybe did not want to deal with. That is a possibility. Maybe it is something that Capcom would have wanted to do, but it's like, nah, we ain't got time to pay all these attorneys' fees to figure this stuff out. One of the things that in the kind of like the interview section that really caught my attention, and I think this was a big clue as to why this game was even possible in the first place. And I can't remember who it was that said it. He said there are fighting game developers who would kill to have the kind of budget that we have behind this project. And
yeah,
I
it's
think
Marvel,
that is the key element. That is the key element. You've got the leader in console. You've got arguably the leader in, superhero fiction. You've got a company that has kind of been not so much in the shadows, but has hit above its belt with the fighting games that they've been dropping within the past 5 years. And I'm talking about Arc System Works. Their fighting games are the best looking fighting games around, period.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily play them. I'm talking Guilty Gear in particular. I'm not really a Guilty Gear fan. Dragon Ball Fighters was pristine looking. It looked like you were watching the damn show in a 2D fighting game. Those three elements, that is really the only way a Marvel, for lack of a better word, Marvel Superheroes 2, I guess, could have come about. You really had to have some heavy hitters to bring this game to the forefront. or make it even possible, because you got to have deep pockets, you got to have talent, and from what I saw of this, kind of like this announcement, they've got all that in spades. So people are already talking about, oh, is it, the Japanese do Marvel characters better than Marvel itself does them, and it's like, well, I don't know about all that, but what I do know is that there is an anime element that mixes very well with Marvel, and I would say probably superhero properties in general. I remember watching the anime versions of Wolverine when they did that short animated series. I thought that was dope. They did an Iron Man years ago. I can't remember the name of the studio that did them. It was like these very short mini series, and I can't remember where they. It might have been like Netflix. It might have been something else. I just remember that, and I think they present a very unique art style presentation that is not quote unquote better. It's not better. It's just different, but it's of equal quality when you have the right folks working on it. And I think this is proof of that right here. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. Hopefully they have, I would not be surprised if they have a kiosk or two at Evo. That would make a whole lot of sense if they did. So that's kind of like another reason why I'm looking forward to Evo this year. Hopefully being able to get my hands on Marvel Tokon in a play session at a kiosk.
It'd be fun. I know you're looking forward to Evo this year, right, Kev?
Yeah. That's what I said. It's like that's one of the reasons why I'm going. I'm happy I'm going. Outside of everything else, I'm really hoping they have a Marvel Tokon kiosk there, or kiosks, because you would have to have more than one.
Yeah.
You would have to have a bunch of them just to let people get in there and get their hands on the game.
All right, and then to round off the state of play, there was an announcement for a new game in the Bloodstain series. So Bloodstain, the Scarlet Engagement was announced. It's being developed by Art Play on here. So Igarashi is the original guy that developed Castlevania Symphony of the Night. And I know he's producing this one versus directing this one this time, but this is basically a sequel to a Bloodstain Ritual of the Night on there. So this is coming out. I wanted to say Circle of the Moon, but that's the Inti Creates game. So, but I'm looking definitely forward to this. This is a Castlevania game through and through, but with the Bloodstain elements that were introduced with the previous game in the series. So, Des, what's your overall feeling about this game? What you saw? I mean, pretty much is something that is down your alley per se.
Most definitely. I have the other Bloodstained game on the Switch, and any of these Castlevania Metroidvanias they're just so much fun. And I just really enjoy the way they look and how people are innovating and or copying. Let's be honest. Those games, and Bloodstained is one of the ones that has done it really, really well. Gun Gal Guardians is another one that's done really well by it. So I think they're really good. And if you haven't tried them, you really should. You really should just sit down and take a just take a try, because they're really fun games. So I'm really looking forward to this one, and if you haven't played the other one, you really should. I think you would really enjoy it.
I know John BT has beat the previous Bloodstain, so I mean, I might have to look at it before this game comes out and kind of add it to my backlog blowout if need be. So also at the show, blowout. Hirogami was announced for PlayStation 5. Originally, it was only announced for PS4 and Steam on here. This is a game that both me and Des played at Tokyo Game Show last year. So this is a kind of action platformer with papercraft on there. Kind of gave me a little bit of Tearaway vibes from that old, game from Media Molecule on here. But yeah, so it's like I love the look of this game. Right now there is a demo for it on Steam during its Next Fest, so I did download that on my Steam Deck. I haven't had an opportunity to fire up my Steam Deck to play it. I'm hopefully get to it because it's a limited time demo on here, but it's coming out on September 3rd for PlayStation 5, PC. I actually thought the game played great when I played it at TGS. Des, what's your overall feeling about this game too? Did you like the look of it?
I did. I thought it looked very, very new and fresh, and how you were like, there are people that are coming out with these games that look like Muppets, and games that look like folding paper, and games that are like puppeteers, and like the games that look like what was it, Cuphead. So I really like games that sort of push what is traditional animation or stuff like that. Not animation, traditional cell shading, and how you would normally make a game look a certain way. I'm really, really just finding games that look different to be really refreshing, and just, I don't know, it just looks, they look really just, they're just really nice to look at, and they're just interesting. And this is one of those games that's sort of like that. And I'm just kind of like, wow, this is, I don't know, like you can look at it and like the magic and how you utilize the origami, and how the distance, the draw distances for the game. I don't know. It just has a really nice look to it. So I don't know. So definitely take a chance on it. Because I think it's one of the more not ingenious. It's one of the more like clever looking games, I'll say. So yeah, I definitely am going to play it. It just looks interesting and it looks fun.
Yeah. All right, and that's pretty much state of play. I want to ask about one more thing, even though it's not on any of your guys' list.
Sure.
Kev, did you check out the Project Defiant, the new fight stick that's coming out from Sony Interactive Entertainment for PlayStation?
I wasn't
sure if you were interested. I mean, I know you've gone over and you use like
I'm team leverless right now. Yeah.
Are you team leverless? Okay.
Yeah. But I think it's a smart move. Really, considering the move that Sony's made, acquiring Evo, really, for all intents and purposes, outside of PC, really being the only console where fighting games have any kind of life. I think it's a smart move. I'm actually kind of surprised it's taken this long for them to come up with a first party arcade stick.
Especially with Marvel involved in as far as getting that fighting game developed by Sony.
This was good.
I was reading about, because I know Markman, if you recognize, he's the Tekken announcer usually at Evo on here, but he got involved with this, and he's working with PlayStation on this. And what I read about it is that you're able actually to go in and change the restrictor gates, so you're able to go in and without having to do anything major, open it up and put either a square, circle, or octagon gate on this thing. That's just kind of nuts to me to say that they built it into the controller. So
that is pretty cool. That is cool. That is cool. I know that's kind of been like one of the things that always kind of had me kind of a little bit nervous, is cracking open the case of my arcade stick and replacing the gate. Although it's an easy operation, quote unquote, But man, if you break one of those plastic tabs that hold the gate in place right underneath the stick, you're screwed. So it's really hard to do it because, particularly if you're dealing with like a Sanwa or a stick of high quality, that's almost never going to happen. But if it does happen, then you're pretty much screwed. And that was always kind of in the back of my mind every time I did a gate swap on any of the arcade sticks that I have. Eliminating that for nervous ninnies like me is great. I'm still sticking with leverless, but I think for people that are still rolling with levered controllers for their fighting games, I think this is a really, really smart move. If they can pull it off at a good price, this could be a standard setter for other companies going forward with their products too.
Yeah, knowing PlayStation with their peripheral prices, I'm assuming it's like $250 at least. So we'll see.
Yeah, you're going to $250 to $300. I wouldn't going above $300 would really be difficult. I don't know, but I if they can pull it off at a good price, then they've got a industry redefining product with that community.
Good deal. All right, we're going to move on to Summer Games Fest. So Summer Games Fest Keighley 3 on there happened on Friday, basically. And, I have to say, as far as the show, as far as my impressions of it, a lot of fluff, a lot of advertising, a lot of Chinese, basically me-ho-ho, gotcha games.
Gotta pay the bills, Joe.
You got it.
Gotta pay them bills, sir.
I know. Lots of Souls likes too. It just seems like okay. Let off with Mortal Shell 2, and then we got to see like Code Vein 2, and every Souls like you'd ever want in the world shown at this series, and of course tactical shooters as far as online shooters that are free to play on there, but. Overall, watching the show with Des afterwards, because I was watching it live here and there, but I was watching on my phone, and obviously we took the time, but with liberal fast forwarding, we got through the show pretty well,
pretty quickly.
Yeah. Overall, if I'm going to give it a grade, I'd have to give it a C on here. I'm going to kick it over to you, Des. What's your overall impressions of Summer Games Fest?
The same. It was. If you've ever watched one, you've watched another one. It is a time for him to glad hand his people and kind of show, hey, I'm the guy. I am your, what is it?
I am E3.
Yeah, I am your. You're 100% right. It's like I am the video game person. And then when Kojima came out, and he's like, oh, so good to see you, my friend. Blah blah blah. And it's like he's like, look how cool I am. And I'm like, all right.
$700 orange or yellow sneakers, it's like
those sneakers were rough. I was like, yo, why are you wearing those sneakers? Like they were not it, bro. They were not it. So anyway, I know Kevin always says that I give him too much ish, but anyway, I thought that he did fine. He was definitely a lot more smooth than he normally is. I can't believe I said that, smooth. But I thought he was okay. I thought the woman that was that presented, I cannot remember her name. I'm sorry.
Lucy James.
Yeah, Lucy James. I thought her delivery was a lot more fun and she was a lot more engaging, and I don't know. She came out a little bit better, though she did she gave one of the titles wrong, and of course it was for the Wu-Tang game. She said she said the name wrong, so I was like, it's fine. I can't really get her for that, but overall I have to say it was a C. Most of it. It's it's one of those things that you just kind of tune in, you see what's going on, you fast forward through all the crap, and then you're just kind of done with it. But I will give him props for at least trying to keep a live game sort of live game, I guess I say meeting or live game convention, live game kind
presentation.
of presentation. Yeah, exactly. Like I give him props for that. Like thank you for doing that. I really appreciate that. Really appreciate it. So, but yeah, I don't know what else to say about him, so I'm not gonna say anything else.
Well, Kev, what's your overall impressions of Summer Games Fest? Did you watch it live, or how did you watch it?
I watched it live, unfortunately, and was not able to skip the. I just found other stuff to do when the gotcha games were being displayed and promoted. I don't mind.
I saw One Punch Man.
Yeah, it's like that was like another tease. It's like, okay, One Punch. What is this? His own game? It's like some kind of a collaboration.
They don't know.
It's a gotcha. I'm sure it's a gotcha.
It's a gotcha game I never heard of prior to this Keeley Fest.
Yeah, and it was okay. He has established himself as the E3 guy.
Mm-hmm.
E3 is dead and gone. This is what we have in its place. And okay, fine. What I will say is I would like to see Lucy James get a bigger hosting chunk next year, because I think I'm just saying, he's making the money anyway, right? I would like to see him maybe step back and maybe just kind of like bring her up to really kind of make her, maybe possibly set her up as the face of Summer Games Fest.
No. Are you crazy?
I think that would be... No, and this is why. This would allow him to really just focus on the background stuff. They call him the Dorito Pope. They call him this, that, and the third. It's like, it's kind of like the running gag in the games industry. And maybe he loves it. Maybe he doesn't care. Maybe I'm maybe attributing emotions and opinions to him that do not apply. But everybody, when they start something, needs to think about what they're going to do next, or what is the next phase of this successful thing that I've got going on. I think it would behoove him, number one, to groom Lucy to be the face of Summer Games Fest, because number one, we need more women in these types of spaces. We do. Number two, she's talented. She's a good host. I don't know what other projects she's done or worked on, but
she works at GameSpot. So
she works at GameSpot. Okay. So I think that would be a smart thing for him to do. Now, whether he would actually do that, and this would allow him to really just kind of stay in the background and maybe save the really big bombshells. So like, when he steps out on stage, okay, this is going to be an earth-shattering announcement type of deal. That's kind of like how I'm thinking.
Nope.
Because again, he's getting paid no matter what. So why not pass the baton to, somebody who does a great job, who could be the face of this, while you wheel and deal and get the big announcements, and you can save the big announcements for you. Oh, Keeley stepping on stage. Oh my gosh, it's got to be something earth shattering type thing. So that's how I see it.
No, he ain't doing all that.
I think he's too big of a head. I hate to say. I don't know the man personally, but I enjoyed playing that. I played that last summer at Capcom's headquarters when I was in Osaka.
Remember when I showed you this? Remember when we did this? Remember when I did this? We had it on there. No, he ain't doing all that.
But I mean, he could still do that, right? He can still do that, but let her grow and into this role. I think that would be brilliant. I don't know.
I think it'd be great too, but he ain't gonna do that.
What's your overall letter grade for Summer Games Fest, Kev?
I'm gonna give it a C. Okay. I'm gonna give it a C. I mean, I saw games that I was really into, but just kind of like the flow of the Summer Games Fest, you really turned me off when it was like every time I turned around, there's a gotcha game in my face. I really didn't need all that, but I get it. You got to pay the bills, so I can't be mad at it. But
some of those games, actually, I mean, I don't know. Wuthering Waves, I always looked at. I know, Des, you played that, but I have not played it, and then I just want to try at least one of those like Zenless Zone Zero or Wuthering Waves or
download it. Just do it. It's free. Just do it.
I know. just do it. And so, let's talk about some of the games that we like from Summer Games Fest. So let's start out with the big banger at the end, Resident Evil 9, which is going to be Resident Evil. What's the subtitle on it? Let me scroll down there. So it was a big surprise as far as this Resident Evil 9's unveiling because of the fact that I think 30 minutes prior to the unveiling of this, is that they had a little segue commercial for Resident Evil where they had the producer of Resident Evil come on and say, we'll have more news about Resident Evil like later on this year and so on and so forth. So
wasn't it Requiem or something like that?
Yeah, it's Requiem. Yeah, so Resident Evil 9 Requiem was unveiled on here. So it's the latest in the long-standing horror series on there. So during the trailer, you meet Grace Ashcroft, which is actually a daughter from a game, Resident Evil Outbreak. So it's like that kind of weird-ass shooter that was released for PlayStation 2 on there. So, and I kind of like the trailer. I'm kind of interested in checking out a little bit more. I know it's playable at Summer Games Fest as far as other content creators got to play it. I know that you're able to play it both in first and third person. So, yeah.
That's fun.
So it's kind of cool. But I haven't really played an RE title in a long time. I need to get back to the series. I need to maybe play 7, play 8, and kind of anticipate this for there. But Kev, what's your overall feeling about Resident Evil 9 Requiem? Is this something that you're going to be buying day one?
Yeah. 7 and 8 are a must. Not because I think you need to play those to understand what's going on in this game. I doubt that. But they are just fantastic horror games, in my opinion. But yeah, I'm ready for Requiem. It looks really good. I really want to see. I'm looking forward to knowing if they're going to bring back maybe kind of like some characters that have kind of been out of commission, so to speak, out of the limelight. They have a number of stars. Operatives that could find their way back into the story. I would like to see that. So I want to see. I'm looking forward to seeing how this plays. The only thing that I have a question of is switching between third and first can be problematic if it's not done right, for lack of a better term. When I think switching between first and third, I'm thinking of what is that RPG that everybody plays, like
Elder Scrolls.
Elder Scrolls. Yeah. That is not the way to do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it that way.
Yeah, okay.
You have to please don't do it that way where it's like I can't tell if I'm hitting somebody or attacking somebody in third person. and oh, I have to be in first. Okay, now I can tell whether or not I hit it. And I don't want it to be like Indiana Jones, where you just go into third person automatically when you're doing something, swinging from a vine or jumping over a gap, or I hope they put some thought into it, and that it plays equally well in first or third person. So that's what I'm hoping. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this game, seeing what's going on.
Good deal. I think another game that all three of us were kind of jazzed after seeing the trailer, and it's like not the unveiling of this particular game, but Onimusha: Way of the Sword. Another trailer got shown, and to me, it's like, I think it stands out because even if there might be some sort of Dark Soulsy elements possibly with this one, I want a good action game, Onimusha in the past was basically Resident Evil in Japan, at least Onimusha 1 and 2, and then especially 3 with Jean Reno on there, it took the game to its own thing, and then Dawn of Dreams was like the last one, that major Onimusha game, which I think didn't go off as well because Capcom adjusted the difficulty in the US version versus the Japanese version, so people wouldn't be able to trade it in so easily, and beat the game and whatnot. I'm kind of curious to go back to pick up a Japanese copy of Dawn of Dreams just to see what the original difficulty tweaking was on the Japanese version, But from what I've seen so far with the multiple trailers that they show for Onimusha, I can't wait for this game. I think, they're taking the previous formula and mixing it up and obviously throwing it into their Capcom engine, I think was RE engine. I forget the name of their particular thing as far as their own graphics engine. I know they used it for Monster Hunter Wilds even, so
something, right?
Yeah. Something off the top of my head. It's unimportant, but
yeah.
Kev, what's your overall feelings about Onimusha? I mean, pretty much I think all three of us are looking forward to this bad boy, so
yeah, that was another best of show title. That game just looks brutal and fun. Like I've said before, give me a katana and that's 90% of the way to selling me your game. So, and when you add to the fact that it's, by Capcom, Onimusha is a franchise, an established franchise, in my opinion, that we really haven't heard from in a while. So I'm really anxious to see where this goes. Plus, you're playing as Musashi. Come on, it's like I'm there day one.
I'm there day one too. So, all right, and another couple of games. We're going to talk about one particular development group is Tribute Games, and so Tribute Games, what they do well, they do great 2D art, and they've previously done games like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like the re-release of that, but they busted out and they've announced previously with .emu Marvel Cosmic Invasion. So imagine if we got a sequel to Captain America and the Avengers on there, like a side-scrolling 2D tour de force. I think if anyone that does pixel art, like 2D brawlers, well, I mean, it was a good kind of idea to get them involved to do a side-scrolling belt action game if need be. So I think all three of us are definitely looking forward to Marvel Cosmic Invasion. I thought She-Hulk looked kind of thick on there as far as the way they drew her, and then of course Storm and everyone else. Des, what's your overall feeling as far as Marvel Cosmic Invasion? Are you buying physical or are you buying it day one?
Physical day one immediately. It's amazing. It looks great. I cannot wait. It's going to be great.
Switch or PlayStation?
Oh, PlayStation, definitely.
Got it. And what's your overall feeling about Cosmic Invasion 2, Kev?
I liked it. I liked it. I've really enjoyed the Ninja Turtles game that they have. I haven't finished it yet, I think I'm maybe 2 levels away from completing that. But yeah, and I really like the design of She-Hulk. I mean,
Thank you.
I don't know if she's been getting grief, but I really like it. I don't know. When you're talking about somebody who can lift 80 tons or something like that. I don't know if she's as strong as the Hulk. I don't think she is. She may not be as strong as Bruce Banner, but you can't tell me that you're going to have a supermodel body and be able to lift 40, 50, 60 tons.
Thank you.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So, I don't know if she's getting chud action from people complaining about the design, but I don't have a problem with it. I think it's a great design. It showcases her. You can tell, okay, that's going to be the strength character. Like her special move where she sends those shockwaves in front and behind her. It's like, I mean, come on. I mean, you can't be mad at that. Mad at that. And I don't know. Well, she doesn't look like like from the comic book. It's like the comic book. Correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't She-Hulk kind of like always kind of like a joke character in a way? Or am I missing the boat on that?
She had her moments.
She breaking the fourth wall type stuff?
Yeah, that was when John Byrne wrote her. She kind of broke the fourth wall a little bit. Yeah. But it wasn't until recently that she really started to kind of become a lot more of her own character. I mean, but it was weird though, because John Byrne always liked her, but he also never really... At least I don't believe he ever really made her. His Fantastic Four with her in it was pretty good.
I remember that run. Yeah,
and she didn't break the fourth wall like nearly as much, so at all actually, because that was she was more like realistic and stuff. So,
and again, I say you can't be lifting 40 tons and look like a Victoria's Secret model. It just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. So I got no problem with the way she looks.
I think she looks great. I think she I think the whole thing about her just looks amazing. So I can't imagine anyone saying anything bad about it, but I know they will. So
yeah. It's the internet.
Yeah,
Tribute Games is kind of cooking, because Tribute also unveiled later on in this Summer Games Fest stage Scott Pilgrim EX. So they're working on this game as well. They're releasing this game out in 2026.
Never thought I'd see a sequel.
I never thought I'd see a sequel either. Yeah, so they're working on it though. They did the original game, Scott Pilgrim versus the World, the game, and so they are working with Brian Lee O'Malley, the creator of Scott Pilgrim. They're also working with Anna Monoguchi, which is returning to do the soundtrack. And I think just what was shown on stage was phenomenal in my mind. So it's like I want to go back and play more Scott Pilgrim. I need to go grab it off of my backlog on there and go for it. Yeah. So. And I think out of the three of us, Des, I mean, were you super stoked once you saw this?
Oh yeah, I immediately knew what it was. I immediately knew what it was. As a diehard Scott Pilgrim fan, I was just like, okay, let's go. I was like, let's go.
I know, Kev, you really liked the Scott Pilgrim as well. You loved the way it kind of reminded me of River City Ransom a little bit too, with the whole like store element and whatnot, and just the ingenious like brawling in that particular game specifically. So
yeah, I mean, you give me a chibi beat 'em up and I'm there.
Yep.
I gotten Scott Pilgrim. The first game was very fun. It was great. I went in knowing nothing about the comic or the character or the world, but you really don't need to. It's just a fun beat 'em up. So this looks like more of the same with more moves, and I'm there day one for that.
Me too. Okay, other games shown during Summer Games Fest. Code Vein 2 came out of the blue a little bit. So this was Bandai Namco's like kind of anime's Dark Souls that came out 5-6 years ago for PS4 and Xbox One, whatnot. I never thought I would see a sequel to this game. I thought it was kind of dead and buried a little bit. I actually thought because the game didn't sell as much as Bandai Namco wanted it to back then. You could buy like Code Vein 1 at one point for like $10 at GameStop. So I'll have to see about how Code Vein 2 comes out. But they had this big, long, nice trailer. It's coming out for PS5, Xbox Series, and PC. And I played the first game a little bit. I think me and Des played a little bit multiplayer as well. And I just was kind of interested with this, especially given its vampire and time travel element and whatnot. That something it played more like an action RPG versus a true blue 100% Souls-like if need be. That's why I'm kind of stoked to kind of check it out on here. So I kind of like the look of the graphical style, what they're showing as well. Either of you two, did this game speak to you at all, or pretty much you'll wait till it comes out and kind of go from there?
Wait till it comes out and go from there. It didn't really, yeah. Good.
Yeah. All right. And another game that kind of caught my eye was Atomic Heart 2. So this is the developer Munfish, which, even though they said they're not based in Russia, they're not Russia funded. They are Russia funded on here. So
isn't it ridiculous that they have to say this type of stuff?
Yeah.
Just to stay out of the bull crap.
Yeah, because a lot of people are wanting to say because if they're Russian funded that, that don't support this game, so on and so forth. So
because every individual is walking lockstep with their government on every issue, on every event of their nation.
Yeah, I thought this
the rationale of people is stupid.
Kind of crazy, There's a lot of boobs and butts in this trailer, I had to say, on there. So it's kind of, I just like the look of it.
They know their audience.
Yeah.
You are correct. So.
There was like quite a few. In fact, I was going to mention that like First Descendant. I mean, literally, it was just like ass, tits, ass, tits, just nonstop.
But First Descendant is not a very good game either.
No, it is not.
They're selling their gotcha and their big booty butts and big old.
Meanwhile,
boobs.
you get the same thing in Stellar Blade, but Stellar Blade is a fantastic game. So it can work, but you have to have a solid game behind it.
I was always interested in Atomic Heart. I got it from the library a couple times. I played around with it. This game's supposed to be more of a RPG, open world, and so it's like it kind of caught my eye. I just kind of like the retro futuristic like kind of vibe that it kind of spoke to it. So I'm gonna keep an eye on this game. I'm gonna see if I could go back and play Atomic Heart 1. In the meantime, go back to my local library, go visit Lefty Brown, and see if I could go grab Atomic Heart 1 and actually put some time in and play it. So
isn't it on Game Pass?
It's on Game Pass, yeah. So it's just it would behoove me to fire up my gaming PC and to fire up Game Pass. I Game Pass is going the way of the dodo with me in April of 2026. After that, I have to go back to Argentina to go and renew my subscription. And I doubt I'm going to go back to Argentina. Wow. So we'll see.
Cry for me, Argentina.
I will not be redeeming my Xbox, my Game Pass.
I don't know if you guys like the trailer, but Stranger Than Heaven looked bomb. So this is the Yakuza studio, RG Studios on here, but just 1940s Japan. I know the previous Project Century was showing 1910s Japan, and so I just, especially with that team being able to get away from the wackiness of Like a Dragon, because they're continuing that Yakuza series in Like a Dragon and just going off the rails with that game. And so this is like more of their kind of a Judgment type where they're actually making a serious game with lots of action RPG elements and a lot of brawling, of course. I just like the look of this game. Kev, I know you I don't know how much if you play the previous Yakuza games, but is this something that maybe you want to check out?
Yeah, I liked it. I've played. I one of these days I'm probably going to have to just sit down because I have all the Yakuza games in either digital or physical form. Uh, I don't know if I can play like one through because I have those. Those are on. I think I have those for PS3. But I think the entire Yakuza series is available in some form or fashion on PlayStation.
Yeah, they're
So
all available. They're all been remastered. So
Yeah.
So I would maybe that could be something I could do, when I retire. But yeah, I've been a fan of them. Definitely been a fan of them. I have a few of them. So Stranger Than Heaven looked very interesting. I want to see where the story's going to go with regards to the fact that you're in. This is just before World War II, or is it during World War II? I can't remember.
I can't remember either.
They showed the first trailer. Project Century was like in 1910, so it was in like.
So this could,
and then
could be
this one is in 1943. So
yeah.
So it's like
So you could be playing the role of maybe the same person only, or maybe his grandson.
Yeah, his family.
The family member. You start out as the grandfather back in the day, and then you come in maybe as the grandson, just in time for World War II. So that could be a very interesting story element, where you're following a family as opposed to an individual character.
Sounds good. And then also too, this is on Desmond's list, Mouse PI for Hire. So this is like the kind of crazy looking like 1930s like cartoon first person shooter where you're playing, I think, as a mouse, I think, right?
Yes, you are a mouse detective. I liked it because it had the rubber arms kind of look, and it looked like an old cartoon. And I thought that looked really, really interesting and fun. And it's like talk about copper, say, and stuff like that. And I'm always going to champion stuff like that because it's just interesting and it's fun. And I was like, oh, this is cool,
I know the focus on the trailer on the Summer Games Fest was the fact that Troy Baker is voicing a character in the game. So
yeah, he is the titular mouse detective, mouse PI.
Yes. Jack Pepper.
Yeah. So I thought it was fun.
It looked cool. I'll kind of check it out. You'll have to let me know once it comes out. So another game that's on your list that I was looking at, and you saw my reaction in real time, but Mixtape. So
nostalgia. Joe's not for nostalgia.
Yeah, just like this Annapurna game, basically. It's from Artful Escape developer Beethoven and Dinosaur. On here is just like, you play as three teens out there, like exploring the world as you're getting ready to graduate high school and whatnot. Last summer, yes, playing all these wonderful. They were featuring as far as the number of artists in the soundtrack, and I'm just like, I don't know. To me graduating high school, I was just by myself, just doing whatever. There was no nostalgia about getting with my friends and skateboarding and listening to Devo and Joy Division and all this other crap. It's just like whatever. Yeah, because I'm old.
Okay. I hate to say it because gaming is for everyone. This ain't for you.
No, it's not.
This ain't for you, sir.
Well, let us know why it is for you.
Like a Dustborn with a bigger budget. That's the vibe I got. This is Dustborn with a bigger budget and maybe better talent behind it.
I liked it.
Yeah, and I don't think anything screams out DEI with this thing.
No, I don't mean I don't mean that. I just said that's just the overall vibe.
Got it.
I wasn't. No, I'm not saying Dustborn was just a shit game. Regardless of, you could have all white folks in there, and it's still a shit game.
Me and you need to play Deathborn. I need to actually grab that from my physical game collection, and we could talk about.
I
Deathborn.
did say that I would do that with you. I did say that. I'll probably regret it, but I stand by my word. I'm a man of my word. So
I should have mentioned it when it was like $15 at GameStop.
When you're ready to start.
Okay.
When you're ready to start, I'll join you in it.
Will do. Another game that I put on my list was Tawa and the Guardians of the Sacred Tree. So this is a Bandai Namco joint. Roguelike game. I just felt it had like a really cool look to it. And kind of felt like, just want to check it out. I don't know if I know you kind of raised your eyebrow a little bit, Desmond, too, right? As far as once you saw this one.
Yeah, it's by Game Freak, dude. Come on.
No, it's not by Game Freak. This is that's a different game. We'll talk about during the Xbox
I
show.
thought this was the Game Freak one.
No, this is Tawa and the Sacred Tree, so Guardians of the Sacred Tree. So that's the one that kind of had a Japanese look to it, but it was like a twin stick, like Hades type game. So
yes, now I remember.
That one.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah,
no worries.
Yeah, I got my games mixed up. Sorry.
Oh, good. It's kind of hard to keep things straight with all these shows. So a really big show. So that is Summer Games Fest in a nutshell. So we're going to move on to Day of the Dev. So this is the kind of little indie showcase that's on after Summer Games Fest. And so me and Des watched this in its entirety. I don't know if you watched this at all, but
I did.
Good deal. So we'll talk about.
It holds a special place in my heart only because of the devs and what they're trying to do. Not all the games are all that, but I do like what they're doing and what they're able to show. So I will always be a huge supporter of Day of Devs. I
really enjoyed going to the actual attend the actual event in San Francisco. I think we went twice.
Yeah,
years past
we went twice.
Yeah, so I'm sure if they have a physical showcase again, I wouldn't mind going again, especially if schedule kind of works out, kind of thing. But few of the games that were shown, one thing that's both on my list and Desmond's list is Moonlighter 2: The Endless Vault. So
looks so good.
Talk about Moonlight a little bit more. I have only played it like maybe a half an hour.
Really?
First game, but I have it in my backlog. What can you tell us and the listeners about Moonlighter and Moonlighter 2? What you saw with the new trailer for the game? So.
Well, the main thing about it is in Moonlighter, you're it's funny because you moonlight as a shop owner. Well, technically your job is a shop owner, and then at night you go into these procedurally generated, caves or dimensions. It's a little area portal you go into, and then you go and you basically chop up and grab all kinds of really cool stuff that you can sell in your shop. So there is a shop management sim as well as a dungeon diving type of game. The difference between this one and the other one was very much looked like, a Link to the Past and it was a top down kind of situation. This one is 3D to 3/4 quarter view, and it's just a little bit more, well, actually it's just a lot more refined in the graphics and whatnot, but it's a lot of the same. And there is a story. There's always a story with it. So even though you are doing the running around and getting stuff for your shop, there's actually a game there, that you're running around and doing. So and there's a story. So I am very interested in it. I really liked the original game, and I do believe that this game is going to be a refinement of that original game, and I am here for it. I think it's going to be great. I cannot wait, and I feel it's going to be a lot of fun.
To check it out, I know it's coming out this summer, so there's no release date yet, but it is launching on both Steam, Xbox. It's coming to Games Pass as well, and also on PlayStation 5. So
definitely worth it. Pick it up.
take a look. Also, another game that I think we both put on our list, Des, was Sword of the Sea. So this is also shown on the State of Play, but this is a game kind of in the same spirit of previous games, like I'm trying to think of the name, like Journey, and also I think there was other games in that particular genre, like the Pathless on there. And so this is kind of in that same vein as those games, but you're doing a lot of like kind of surfing slash, just moving through the environment into sand and whatnot. And what I really liked about what I saw is that I just want to see like that whole sand maneuver gameplay elements in this particular game, because it seems like, Journey and other games of that sort, it was part of it, but not all of it. But this seems like it's incorporating a lot more of that gameplay element to it. So, what's your overall feelings about Sword of the Sea? I love the art style too. So
yeah, it's the same thing. It is like a snowboarding, but you're on a sword. It didn't look like there was any combat or anything, and that's fine for the most part. I just thought it looked fun, and I'm going to probably pick it up. See how it plays.
Everyone's going to pick it up because it's coming out on PlayStation Plus Extra, and it's launching day one into PlayStation Plus. So,
well, again, saying that and actually playing it is completely different. So,
yeah, I know. We'll see. It's coming out on August 19th, so it's not long to come away. I don't know if you saw this or not, Kev. Are you maybe interested in Sword of the Sea as well, or?
It looked interesting. I am a big SSX fan.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like I'm going to be getting an SSX in any way, shape, or form. So something like this, I'm not saying it'll scratch that itch, but it will at least be something roughly reminiscent. I'm hoping. I'm assuming that you'll be able to do tricks and things. Maybe not to the extent of SSX, obviously. I think the vibe that I'm getting from this and that whole series of games is just kind of putting you into like a chill mindset through a game, where maybe it's like something you throw on at the end of the day, decompressing from a long day at work type of deal.
Mine ain't that every day. I'll probably be playing this day one.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's kind of what the impression that I'm getting, that I've gotten from this whole series of games. So I definitely I'll definitely check it out, because I do like the I'm a fan of SSX, Tricky in particular. I don't know why they don't bring. I know why, because EA.
Yeah. EA. Yeah, EA. Come on.
Yeah.
All right. Another game that was shown during Day of the Devs that are on both mine and Desmond's list of games that was kind of highlighted is Blighted. So this is a new game from Drinkbox Studios, the same developers of Guacamelee and Nobody Saves the World on here. And so it's like an action RPG. It's a lot of focus on hack and slash combat, parrying and countering on there. And I really like the look of it, actually. So, and I always have affinity towards Drinkbox in particular. I really like Guacamelee specifically. So I just thought, where it's like, oh, cool, another game from Drinkbox. So I'm pretty much going to be there day one. What's your overall feelings about Blighted, Des?
It looks fun. I like the story about people planting dead people and eating and with seeds, and then you eat the seeds, and that's how knowledge is passed on. I thought it was kind of an interesting story, but it is another kind of like quarter, 3/4 quarter view, roguelike type of game. So yeah, I think it'll be fun.
Yeah. All right, and then another game on both me and Desmond's list is going to be Dosa Divas on here. So this game kind of looked I don't know if you want to talk about it a little bit more, Des.
RPG where people are being. It's okay. So it is hella. You can say if you want to that it is quote unquote hella woke and hella eye and all this
Oh,
other
it's,
stuff
well,
because
it's anti like fast food,
yes,
anti.
anti-fast food. You are literally chefs who ride around in a food truck that turns into a mech, and you are feeding the souls of people in order to get them better and to save them. So yeah,
Whether they like it or not.
yeah, pretty much. So in that aspect, and they're trying to, and there's like a weird love affair between the two of them, and it's what I like about it, and what I always like about stuff like this is it's like Paper Mario. The combat is like Paper Mario. And any of those games where if you hit the button at a certain time, something happens. I like those buttons. Not time attack type of stuff, but if someone's about to hit you and you press the X button, you mitigate the damage. Or if you're about to hit someone and you press a button, it makes it more damage. I like stuff like that. I like those sort of interactive games like that. I think those are fun. So for me, that really feels like, hey, I really want to play that game. The story, I'm not so sure about, but whatever. We'll get there when we get there. But I thought it looked fun.
It caught my interest because of the RPG mechanics once I saw it. So, because that kind of reminded me a little bit of Octopath Traveler a little bit, as well, as far as gameplay is concerned. But it's whole against fast food corps and whatnot. I need to be against fast food corps because they contribute to my waistline too much. So
they really do, Joe.
Yes, of course.
So again, I don't know. I think it'll be fun. I feel it'll be fun.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
it could be the second coming of Dustborn, is what you're saying.
No, you don't.
You don't that. I don't think it's gonna be that bad.
You don't want to paint like that Dustborn brush on everything that comes around. We'll have to see if Dustborn's actually bad or if it's just been a focus of all the chuds out there. So.
I've never played it, so I don't know.
Yeah. Another game that was shown, since we mentioned Patapon earlier, this is Ratatan. So Ratatan was a Kickstarter game basically from the developers of Patapon that basically is Patapon in name and name only. Basically, Ratatan is pretty much
spiritual successor.
You got it. So,
and I'm here for it. It looks fantastic. I love the color palette. I loved Patapon 1 and 2. I played them both on my
PSP.
PSP, that is correct. I played them both on my PSP. Loved them both, and I just I don't know, just the music was fantastic. How they attacked and how you walked together, and just I don't know, it was just the beat was just on point. Just a really good game. Like I would actually, say if you have not bought it, you should go and you should buy the re-releases of those games, the 1 and 2 pack. Go buy them. It's really good. They're really good.
After the showcase, I went in and basically on my PlayStation app, I queued up Patapon 2 and Patapon 3 on PlayStation Plus.
I never played the third one.
I never played it either. It's only been on PSP. It wasn't remastered. So what's on PlayStation Plus is basically the PSP version of that game on the service. So
good stuff.
I'll have to check that out. So,
cool. But yeah, it was really fun.
And another game that I put on my list that wasn't on either of you two's lists was this game called Big Walk. So this is from the developer of Untitled Goose Game.
That game.
Yeah, so you basically play a multiplayer. It's a co-op multiplayer game where all you do is walk in the environment, and you basically are walking and talking together on there. It has procedurally generated voice chat, so you have to be near someone to be able to hear them. Yeah, so but it just looked really cute and really interesting. So I mean, I'll be taking a look at it once it comes out. on here. I don't know if that's a game night game or something that we could play all together. Hopefully it's on a service or something. That way the barrier of entry is not all that well. Kev, would you like to walk in the environment with me and Des?
Don't put me in that.
No, I unless I'm killing something, I really don't want to. I don't want to. I can do that in real life. I can go outside and walk down my street, go to the park, feed some squirrels, feed some ducks. I can do that. I don't want to do that in my game.
But together as friends. Come on, man. But
I don't mind killing something together as friends either. But I need.
Let's go.
I need in a game. For
Joe, in a game.
For any 3-letter agencies who might be listening to this episode, I need to have some type of action.
I hear you.
Yeah,
I'll let everyone know once that game comes out if I do buy it and I play it on top. So
I don't know,
we'll
sir.
See. Let's go we'll get a move on. So last showcase that was this week was the Xbox Games Showcase. So I happen to be with Desmond on here. I know we're all making our way over to see the Braves kick the Giants' ass again, so we didn't watch it live.
What?
But I was kind of piecemealing it here and there on my phone, kind of going from there. But, as far as what I feel about the Xbox Game Showcase, might as well call it the multi-plat game showcase, basically, because everything that's on Xbox is coming out for PS5. They weren't able to confirm Switch or Switch 2 versions for some reason on here, but overall I thought it was okay. If I was going to give it a letter grade, I'd give it like maybe a B- on here. Of course, we also had new hardware that we talked about last episode got unveiled at the Xbox Game Showcase. We'll talk about in a bit before we talk about the games we like from it. Kev, what's your overall opinion about the Xbox Game Showcase? What letter grade would you want to give it?
I'm going to give it a B. I'm going to give it a B+. I'm going to give it a B+, because they had Ninja Gaiden 4 in there. And
there you go.
Ninja Gaiden, I think my concerns from the initial showing were laid to rest. Because this looked like the Ninja Gaiden I'm used to. And I will be there day one. I thought that was the game of the show. It was maybe, I'm going to say maybe number 1 or number 2 of all the shows that we watched. So credit where credit is due, man. It's just crazy that I would have repurchased a Series X to play this game based on how it looked. But I don't
pretty
need
good.
to do that. I don't need to do that. So.
You don't. You sure as hell don't.
Oh, okay. Well. Are you buying the physical on Ninja Gaiden 4?
I will probably buy the physical on it.
Because I know there's
a physical available, I will get it.
There is a physical, but I mean, a lot of people, because of Microsoft previous practices.
Oh, that's right. Because they don't put the whole game on the disc. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, I know at VGP, they specifically stated that if you pre-order it, I know one retailer said if they wind up saying it's just a key on the disc, that they're going to cancel their order for the game. That meaning that they'll cancel all the pre-orders for the game and they will not sell the game. So,
wow.
So I felt that was kind of a strong take because people want a key on the disc, So I'm kind of curious, especially at being Microsoft.
Doom.
Yeah,
I have Doom. I forgot about that.
Yeah, so we'll have to see. Des, what's your overall take on the Xbox Game Showcase, and would you want to give it a letter grade of some sort?
Probably a B. Solid B.
Good deal.
That would be my solid B.
All right. So what we want to talk about first before we talk about the games in specific is that there was new hardware here. And so we talked about on last podcast episode about the Xbox Portable. So there was a news story basically in Windows Central that they stated that whatever Xbox handheld that they were working on was quote unquote canceled. So that's what the rumor is. So basically, this is going to be what the Xbox is moving forward, meaning that, eventually, I think if a new Xbox does come out, that they're going to basically have a PC in a box that's running like a Windows front end, that's quote unquote an Xbox front end, and be able to emulate like previous like original Xbox 360, Xbox One, and Xbox Series games at some point. So this is the first step in all that. So the ROG Xbox Ally and the ROG Xbox Ally X basically is a Windows handheld PC, and from all intents and purposes, even though we don't have a price yet, it's going to be in that same ballpark as the ROG Ally is right now, which a lot of people were saying was going to be around $600 to $700 for the base ROG Xbox Ally, and then for the Ally X, meaning being around $800 to $1,000. So. So yeah, so that's what you're looking at with this ROG Ally X coming out later this year. It's rumored to come out in October. So, so I mean,
yeah.
Were you?
So
I know you were possibly thinking about getting back into the world of Xbox, right?
This is why Xbox was on my mind about this whole situation, because I was actually thinking about purchasing it. I don't know how feasible that is, but I'm thinking this might be the one, that will make me like really get into, Xbox again. I don't know why.
Just get the ROG that's out now, and you'll be able to put the new Windows front end on it, just like. The only thing you're not going to have is an Xbox button, which is like, really, do you really need that? Is that worth $1,000? $800?
Exactly, and that's what. Well, supposedly, because everything that I've watched about it is supposedly the interface and how everything runs and the power behind it is supposed to be really, really good. And I'm not, and I don't know. Maybe I'm just really high on that copium. Because and I like the fact that it's a handheld. I didn't think that I would like it, and because it was a handheld, but the fact that you can, load Steam on it, you can load GOG, you can load all these stuff on it, but I guess you can load all that stuff on the Steam Deck too. I don't know. Like I'm in my feelings about this. I don't know if I want to, drop, all that money on it.
$1,000.
Like, and that's the thing. And again, it's like I just spent this money on this Nintendo, and I was super excited about that, but I haven't even I've played around with it, but I haven't put it as my full on sort of my full on console, but I don't know, like something about this is just like it's got me a little bit, and I don't know why. So I'm not saying that I'm gonna buy it, but there's something about it that is tempting me, and I don't know why. Like maybe in the comments you can
about to fall for that okie doke.
I see, and that's the thing.
You gonna fall for that marketing okie doke.
That's the thing.
Dude,
that's the thing.
If you want, get a Steam Deck. Get the ROG that's out now. Get a Lenovo.
Yeah,
you don't have to wait to add another $200 to $400 on top of the price tag that's out now, just so you can have a button.
Yeah,
because the firmware that they're going to be coming out with is going to be available for all of the PC handhelds. So they'll all operate in theory the same way.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of work to do because SteamOS is kicking their ass in performance tests.
Yeah, and that's another thing that was kind of sticking to me, and I'm just like, okay, let's not fall, like you're saying, fall for the okie doke and fall for the marketing speech and stuff like that. And let's see how much it costs when it comes out, and let's wait, because like I told you before, there's a very few things that I am an early adopter on. Nintendo, the Switch 2. I knew that I was gonna buy that and I was gonna take care of that. Boom. That was not an issue. But other things, you know, I don't know. I'm just putting it out there that for that the marketing and the talking and having Phil out there talking about it, I was like, oh, Phil, what you got, Phil? Like I was feeling it. Like Phil got my nose open.
I have to ask this question, brother. I have to ask this question.
Yeah.
You are prepared to drop 7 to a G on a Xbox Ally X, but you can't drop $650 on a PS5 Pro?
It's another thing.
Make it make sense for me, brother. Make it.
No,
make
you're
sense.
right. That's why it doesn't make sense to me, Kev. That's why I'm talking to all y'all. And I really hope that the listeners feel my pain, because that robot is trying to come out and I have to stop it. So I know Joe's all super happy too, because Joe's like, damn, if he buys it, I don't have to buy it. I can play it at his house now. And I'm like, so anyway, that's what I wanted to say. Stop it, Joe. Stop it. But that's what I'm saying. I am open to the possibility of it, but at this point, I have to clamp down on the wallet, see more of what's going on, and really see if it's worth it. Because I know people far smarter than me are going to go in and they're going to chop this up and see like what the value proposition is for it. What's the value proposition? If the value proposition is there, maybe. But at this point, I'm not buying it. But I am.
You say that now.
No, seriously.
You buy one, I'll buy one. How about that?
Oh, so you're gonna buy one, Joe?
If you buy one, I will buy one.
No. Don't put this on me, Joe. Are you? Before I said it, see, this is why I should let your ass go before I said anything, because now you all like, oh damn, if Des buys one, then I should buy one. No, stop it. Were you going to buy one?
I wasn't thinking about it, but if you buy one, I will buy one. Yes.
You weren't thinking about it?
I was not thinking about it. No, I was not thinking about it. So. Because I have a new gaming PC. It's like I haven't even broke it out yet, So it's like if I was going to do anything, I'd probably upgrade that thing. But I'll have to see once the system comes out, and even though it has a different form factor from the regular ROG Ally, because of the fact that it has like those like kind of supple like things at the end, as far as what would you call them?
Rounded corners and
rounded corners,
triggers,
yes.
Yeah, and that's worth $1,000. Okay,
the triggers.
Right now, as it stands, the rumor as it stands is they got basically the European price, so it's 599 euros for the Ally White, and then the Ally X is going to be 899 euros. So, and they're guessing it's going to be around $500 for the base unit and $799 for the black, for the X with the extra performance.
The whole thing about, and I get it, they're trying to be like consumer friendly and stuff like that, but come on now, that ain't no one gonna buy that white one. No, like no, ain't no one gonna buy the white one anyway.
Well, if you buy one, then maybe we'll have to take a trip to Argentina again. We'll never see. We'll see. So
here's the
thing.
Though.
I can't talk about it anymore. No.
You are looking at Xbox with this. Their next console they are going to commission a group of companies. Maybe they'll commission some boutique PC builders. Who knows who they're going to get to do it. But this is your next Xbox. It is going to be a mini PC with an Xbox tag on it. I have a mini PC already. So whatever they're going to throw out there, I have zero interest in.
Yeah.
And I had this discussion with a coworker because he was like, Kev, you think I should, I was thinking about, I saw the, I'm like, bruh, go down to Best Buy, get you a ROG right now. You will spend less money. You will get the same performance, and you will be able to get the same Windows OS on there if that's what you want. I said you might want to take a look at those YouTube videos that are showing Steam OS just curb stomping this Windows for handheld at this point. Now, that doesn't mean that Microsoft is going to get any better. It can't get any better. You also have to remember you're going to be dealing with the Windows Store, the Microsoft Store. Do you really want to do that?
No.
I'm games, deleting games, and they're still on your hard drive. That they didn't fix that, to my knowledge. So I don't know. I look at this and I just see. I see a company that I think this is the best way forward to let go of hardware. They can't just say, all right, screw the Xbox, we're just a straight up publisher now. They can't just do that because they've got enough of them out in the wild where enough people would be really pissed off, and it wouldn't look good from a PR angle. They have the pockets to make deals with these other companies to build the hardware, and then they can justify, Aaron, whatever his name's job, and he can go in and say, all right, round this corner over here, make room for this Xbox button over there, have a funky, cool little fancy trigger over here, and so he can feel justified in his paycheck. That's all well and good, but they are out of the hardware business. This is Xbox going forward, and it's just going to be a mini PC, and I already have a mini PC that I have. I've got Steam loaded on it already, so I can play all my old school PS3 games. They run great. I have my Ken Hank attached to it. It runs fine. So I don't need. They're putting stuff out there that, in my mind, it's like when people ask, "Well, who's the PS5 Pro for?" It's like y'all need to be asking this question. Oh, by the way, did you guys see the IGN live co-stream of the Xbox showcase?
I did.
If you haven't, you need to watch that, particularly when they introduced the ROG Ally, because they have I don't know how many people were in there. They had a bunch of people in there, and everybody's hype, and they see that handheld coming out, and then they see ROG pop up, and you could just see on the faces the excitement just drained out of the room.
Oh,
and
wow.
the host that they had hosted the show, he's like, "No, guys, we manifested this. And there's like a couple of people just like start clapping, like giving that slow golf clap. It was, yeah.
Not like that, Joe.
It was. You want to see hype just get drained out of the room. That when they showed it was a ROG Ally. It's like people were looking at this like, I can just get this right now. Why?
Stop it.
What are we doing? And what they're doing is they're getting out of hardware the best way they can. That's what they're doing. And they're just handing it off to whoever wants to do the work and the research and put these boxes together and call it a day.
All right, then.
If there's an actual official like PC in a box from Xbox, would you prefer that versus having a handheld?
Who you asking?
No.
Oh.
No? Okay.
No.
Yeah. It's like I've got a mini PC already. I don't know what the only thing that the one thing that maybe Xbox could do, and they'll probably have like maybe 2 or 3 steps. You know, you can get the base one that'll give you, 1080p 60 frames per second on medium settings, and then they can give another box that'll give you 4K or 1440 at 60 frames and maybe 4K at 30, and then they can give you the greatest version made by some other company that'll give you 4K 60 frames per second on Ultra. That's really the only thing that I can see them doing from this point on, because it's the only thing that really makes sense. But it only makes sense when it doesn't even really make sense in that standpoint, because all those people have a PC already. Who's going to go to a closed box that is basically all it is a PC?
Yeah.
I don't understand that. The reason that they're on PC to begin with is the fact that they can twiddle and tweak and do all this, funky crap and play Stella Blade and make her nude and all that weird shit. I mean that's what PC gamers. That's why they're on that platform. You're going to tell them, well, I got to spend extra money to get a closed box that all I can do is just download the different stores. I can't upgrade it. I can't change things. It's like, I don't know. But yeah, if you're thinking about this ROG Ally X, just get the ROG that's out now, and just save yourself some money. I ain't trying to watch another man's pockets, but I mean, it's like at the end of the day, when you see, it's like, if I'm seeing somebody going, it has a choice you can either get a Honda Civic or a Yugo. I'm going to try and convince him to get the Honda Civic.
Well, I appreciate
Don't
that.
buy the Yugo.
What's the Yugo in this equation? The ROG Ally?
Yes.
The Xbox Ally X?
Yes. Yes, because they are reshelling shit that's already on the market and charging you more money, just so you can have an Xbox button and rounded corners.
I didn't know if there was a difference in the price or if there's more features. I didn't look into it that deeply, actually. So
it's the same damn thing. You can't tell me that the handful of changes that they're going to make to this thing is going to be worth almost $1,000 after taxes. Can't convince me, compared to the high end ROG that's out right now that you can go to Best Buy and get right now today. You can't tell me that the proposed price of this thing makes it worth it, so you get responsive triggers and an Xbox button. Doesn't make sense.
Color me corrected. All right. So what we're going to go and we're actually going to talk about the games in the Xbox Game Showcase real quick. So I'm going to kick it over to Des, talk about the Outer Worlds 2. What are you looking forward to Obsidian's next RPG masterpiece, quote unquote?
Masterpiece. Just more insane craziness, because they are the masters. That game was super fun. It actually gives me a reason to go and actually beat it. I got super far in the game, and then I just stopped playing it because, the new shininess kind of pops in, and then you're just kind of thinking about, well, I want to do new shininess. So, but yeah, that's one of the games that I'm really looking forward to, and the fact that it's going to be on my system of choice, just makes it that much better.
Any sort of backlash for you in your mind because of the fact that the game's going to be $80 on day one?
No, not really. I expect games to increase in price, and unfortunately, I wish it wasn't the case, but I'm not I'm not. I have no backlash towards that.
Got it.
That's something else I didn't think about. Ninja Gaiden 4 might be $80.
Yeah, it probably will be.
Think about that.
Well, it's well worth it to you,
I would
right?
pay that. It would be worth it to me, but that don't mean I have to like it.
Exactly.
That don't mean I have to like it.
Ninja Gaiden 4 is actually $69.99, so it's $70. So
okay, well, I don't mind that.
But you could buy the deluxe edition for $89.99. What's in the deluxe edition? Ooh, let's take a look. It's 50,000 bonus ninja coin.
Oh, damn, Kev.
Exclusives like character and weapon skins for Yakumo and Ryu. Future gameplay content with an asterisk and additional in-game items. So
they're looking forward to that, Kev.
Yeah. Ninja coin. Wow, you actually got like currency in the game.
Ninja
Hopefully
I hope that's not some like gotcha
battle pass.
Shit. Yeah, I hope it's not. This type of game does not need that.
Well, it's in it, so that's what according to the specifications on Best Buy. So,
good.
Oh well. Sorry, I'm gonna laugh, but that shit's funny.
Well,
it is. It is.
Pitiful. Do you have any more comments about Ninja Gaiden 4 since we're talking
about
Xbox?
I'm
okay,
done.
Good deal. Another game on, I think, all three of our lists is going to be Blood of the Dawnwalker. So Blood of the Dawnwalker basically is from some previous developers at CD Projekt Red that are basically went on their own, working with Bandai Namco to be able to go and bring out their new RPG. So this is like a vampire game of some sort. Des, can you kind of help me out a little bit as far as what you saw, what you liked about Blood of the Dawnwalker?
Yeah, it's a vampire. It's literally just a vampire game. It's like medieval Blade, really. I mean, that's pretty much you have all their powers and only some of their weaknesses, and they're vampires who came in and wanted to rule this world and took it over, and then the mortals came through and not kicked them out, and you are like an avenger. And I'm assuming there's going to be some thing where you can be more villainous or more good, depending on your powers. But the main thing about it is how fluid the combat looks. The combat looks really good in there. I do think that vampires are kind of played out, as are zombies, but these are cultural touchstones that people resonate towards in video games. So that's why it just seems like we see a lot of them, and it looks fun. It looks fun. And what is it? It's coming from a new studio, like you said.
Aren't they ex CD Projekt Red folks?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's name of the developer is called Rebel Wolves, I guess. The main guy is this guy named Konrad Tomas Zavakovich, and he was the director of Witcher 3 Wild Hunt and the head of production for Cyberpunk 2077. But he left CJ Projekt Red after being accused of being a workplace bully, I guess. So
no, I don't know. There's nothing to laugh at, but I didn't hear about any of that. So
yeah, so he basically left the company. Eventually, it was found out he wasn't guilty of said allegations, but he still left the company.
Yeah, so there you go. He's like, I'm out.
But I guess this is part of his initiative to be able to do smaller projects with smaller teams. So right now, as it stands, Rebel Wolves is around like about 90 people on here. You know how Jeff Keighley like to say this game was only made by 30 people.
It's very much. So. Yeah, he likes to pimp that out. And I'm like, all right, cool, sure, thanks.
People don't like that because Claire Obscure. He keeps saying that it was only made by 30 people, and there's actually a lot more people involved with that game. Yeah. So, but
they outsource certain work, and I'm sure these guys are going to do the same thing.
Yeah, All right, next game on the list that I think both me and Des were just like, oh my god, where'd this come from? Beast of Reincarnation. So, Beast of Reincarnation basically is a new game from Game Freak of all people. So
yeah, this is the one that I was surprised about.
Yeah. So, and if you look at it, it looks straight up like if it was like an Ico or Shadow of the Colossus or something like that, with some Souls elements to it as well. So, and just coming from Game Freak is just like, man, oh man, it's like, why would they come up with this after they just kind of shit the bed a little bit with the Switch Pokemon games and everything? It's like, I'm glad that they're kind of being able to go and do their own thing per se, that, they're not really stuck to just do Pokemon and Pokemon only. I know if they've done some side project games, but this looks like way bigger than basically any game that they've done in the past. So I'm just kind of curious who's working on the game within Game Freak, whether they left the Pokemon to, their underlings and to be able to go off and actually make a game that they actually want to develop from beginning to end. So
yeah, who knows? All I know is when I see stuff like this, I just have to think to myself, like, are you holding back, or is Nintendo holding you back? So that's what I think about when I see games, when I see developers who make games that are just kind of like, we have a certain formula. We're going to stick to that formula. We're not going to change it. Or if we are going to change it, we're going to make little tweaks to it here and there. That's what I'm feeling with Game Freak. When you see vastly different products that they make, it's just like, wow. And I say vastly, I use that word specifically because it looks vastly different. So again, it's just weird. It's a weird thing for me to like look at them and be like, this is what you can do. Then what's going on with the stuff that you're doing for a Nintendo? Like, what's happening? So, but anyway,
it's almost like Game Freak's like AC/DC, and they just keep cranking out the same album over and over and over, and then all of a sudden, like, they're going to release a jazz album or something off to the side or something. So,
well, yeah, I mean that's a pretty good analogy, because that's kind of what's happening here, and I'm a little. It's weird to me. Like it's strange. So,
well, hopefully, it goes off well, that they take the time to let it cook. I don't want another Pokemon Legends Arceus or something, or Scarlet Violet, where it's going to come out all technically janky. And I know Digital Foundry also looked at the trailer and said they noticed like drop frames and stuff from the trailer that was shown. It's like, it's not final game yet or anything like that. So
leave them alone.
Leave them alone. Another game on your list, Desmond, was Keeper, which is the new game from Double Fine on there. So it's like a walking lighthouse. You want to tell us more about that game a little bit? Because I kind of zoned out when that came out.
Yeah, it's a Double Fine game in which there's a walking lighthouse. I don't know what else to tell you. Like, it's a game about a walking lighthouse, and it looks amazing. So I really hope that it is amazing, and that you can I don't know, like Double Fine always does very interesting and crazy stuff. So I am more than excited to play it, and I really hope that it is good. Like I think it will. But
it kind of gave me some Howl's Moving Castle vibes a little bit, even though it's not. It's yeah.
You are a lighthouse, and you shine your light onto different stuff, and you have a crow that's following you and helping you out. So you are a sentient lighthouse walking around and doing and going on an adventure. So it looks cool. The art looked fun. So I haven't seen a game from them in a while that looks this big budget. So I'm excited for it. I will definitely be playing it. So yeah,
I might check it out on Game Pass. Oh boy.
Ooh. Have fun with that, buddy.
Well, I'm going to check out PC Game Pass and see if it's all that's cracked up to be. So, another game that kind of got its shine a little bit more was from In Exile Entertainment and Clockwork Revolution. So, this is like the kind of old timey steampunk game from In Exile, that got a lot of major focus on the Xbox Game Showcase. So, it's like a RPG with some shooter elements a little bit, but kind of gives you like a BioShock Infinite vibe, steampunk. And so it's like, I think they're giving them enough time to cook. I liked what I saw on the showcase. I don't know how it's going to play per se. I think it's going to play like from what I could see, like maybe a Fallout game if need be, with a lot of Bethesda vibes and that kind of thing. What's your overall take on it, Des?
Same thing you said. I mean, I'm getting a lot of BioShock, a lot of it's the glove aspect that he has where you have like the power to like redo things in like timelines or time or something like that. So that's where the power fantasy element comes in. And then it's all based around steampunk. So I thought what was shown looked very promising and fun. I will be picking it up. It's a whole new IP. It is remixing other games, but that's fine if you're able to do it and put a really fun spin to it. And it looks like that's what this is doing. So yeah,
Well,
I'm here for it.
one thing about this game, it has not been announced for PlayStation. It's only Xbox X and S and Windows at the moment, and also on Steam. So
that's fine. It'll come out. Don't worry about
it. We'll see what happens with it. And then another game that kind of caught our eye a little bit too was At Fate's End. So this is a new one from the same developers that did. I'm trying to remember the name of the game off the top of my head. Des, help me out.
Which one?
Spiritfarer, yeah. It's
that one.
Thunder Lotus game, yeah. This is like a kind of a action adventure game. It had at least some of the aspects where you get to see at least a lot of the combat. It's a lot of like 1v1 combat. It's not like a brawler like a Streets of Rage or anything like that. So looks like there's a lot of story techniques, but Thunder Lotus always brings the art. They have a particular art style that it's just beautiful on there. So, and I like what I saw from this game, and pretty much it's something new I'm looking forward to. It's coming out for PlayStation, Xbox, Steam, and Epic. So, I mean, pretty much coming out for everything under the sun on here. Kev, did you see this at all, Kev? Is it interesting to you, or did you like the art style at least?
I honestly didn't see Fate's End.
Fate's End, okay.
Yeah, I didn't see it. Or if I did,
you should take a look at it when you get a chance.
Yeah, for sure.
Take a look at it when you get a chance. It was fun.
That's pretty much it. You guys have any last calls for the Xbox Game Showcase?
No, I thought it was interesting.
It was solid. It was solid.
Yeah. Good deal. And that is the Jabroni Gaming News for this long and thorough episode. So,
all right. Game night.
No, stop it.
Game night. So we're doing things a little bit differently moving forward. We're asking our listeners to check our Discord and our Blue Sky for the next Gaming Vessels game night scheduling, and just trying to find a time where all three of us are going to be available is proving more difficult than we thought. So, particularly me, because I don't think I've made one in well over a month, maybe two. So instead, we're just leaving it in the hands of our listeners through Blue Sky or Discord. So just say what night you're going to be available and what game you want to play, and we will do, between the three of us, we will do our best to set some time aside during the week to play games with our growing Discord community. And you might be asking, how do you join the Discord? Well, that's easy enough. You just head on over to Blue Sky and you search for @GamingVessels, GamingVessels. Just tap the link in the bio and you're in. And we don't have any merch to hawk to you. We don't have a Patreon tier list to pay for. All we ask is that you just be a decent human being that likes talking about and playing video games, and I think you will have a wonderful time aboard the good ship Gaming Vessel. So with that said, that is going to bring episode 283 to a close. We want to thank y'all for hanging out, cooling out, chilling out without a doubt with us this episode. So for Dez, a.k.a. the Bay Area Terror, a.k.a. the High Res Lover.
That's me.
A.k.a. the Cat Daddy, a.k.a. That Gamer Stepdaddy, and for Trader Joe, a.k.a. Jabroni Chief.
Yeah.
But you might also know him as the Food Max of Gaming who can maximize your gaming dollar. I'm Shono71, aka Digadulamite.
Purple bling bling, y'all.
Oh God.
We'll be back next week, episode 284 for your ears. Peace.